always get it wrong, Bjorn. Briggs?
Bjorn Briggs, that's
yes.
100%. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Took me 4 days. It's only and you see why I struggle with the Sri Lankan names.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a cracking match this. Wales take on USA, which will feature Chanderpaul. I think will open the batting for the USA.
So both teams here will be looking to try and get their first win on the board. Wales obviously very close to home here, as some of the Pakistan players come past. Missed the game this morning, fellas. What happened? But batting they're not happy with, but I'm sure they'll bounce back tomorrow. But Wales, I know, definitely a proud bunch. And here's the table.
One of the local dogs. He's got the cricket ball between the teeth. Wouldn't mind having another look at that table if the TV guys can get it back up.
Cheers, guys. So just looking at the state of play here, Wales and the USA, without a miracle and a massive swing in run rate, I think their races at the main championship have been run, but I know both teams are extremely proud, Bjorn, and we'll be looking to get off the bottom of the table here.
Yeah, both teams looking for their first win, so big match for them. Playing for pride now, and they'll want to have as many wins as they can. Wales, I thought, were really unlucky in their first match against Singapore. It was a tight game, and Singapore just managed to clinch that and then seemed to give them a bit of momentum to take them where they are now, and they're going to be rooting for Australia in tomorrow's matchup between South Africa and Australia.
You can see a number of the speckies on the mobile phones, and most of them turned side on because they've been not just watching it live, Bjorn, they've been following us live on Facebook Live. So do feel free, guys, if you're on the ground or at home, to tune in with us and give us your comments as well.
Yeah, let us know what you think a decent total is here for the USA side. It's been a good track, Lee. Some good scores this morning. And South Africa a bit short in the previous match, but nothing to do with the wicket.
Well, we've obviously moved down about 6 or 7 pitches on the square here at Chester. We were very lucky. We had the groundsman in on Tuesday just to speak to us, and he made it quite clear that this pitch would have a little bit more in it for the seamers, less wear. And just to give you an insight into a little bit of Chester, as you come down towards the canal, okay, so towards the scoreboard of the ground, there's a little bit more bounce as well.
And you saw that, so the younger of the two Websters in the South Africa versus Sri Lanka match did really well with his 3 overs for just 11 runs, and South Africa maybe not picking up the conditions again, and should have had the 2 quicks up bowling in the first, opening the bowling for them.
Well, they were short on runs, and obviously the key over in the chase there, Sri Lanka put the foot down to one of Ryan Hubert's overs. So, he was bowling left arm to the short leg side boundary. I thought obviously they could definitely have got some of his overs in earlier before the changeover, but they gave him a mountain to climb. 2 left-handers to the short leg side boundary, which is down towards the canal today, and that was a massive momentum shift, and Sri Lanka never looked like turning back from there.
A confident outfit, Sri Lanka. They seem to all know what their duty is and their role within the team. So you see the 2 Americans walking out to bat.
So we've got JD on the right there, and the distinctive figure of Shiv Chanderpaul on the left, who I know will be desperate to get a big score here, and hopefully we'll hear him in the box after he's retired.
Retired on a well-played 50. Don't want to put the mockers on him, but we're looking forward to some great stroke play from the ex-international.
Speaking to some of the guys at Lancs, asked a few questions about Chanderpaul, and they said in pre-season or on his days off, he can often be found on the bowling machine for 3, 4, 5 hours on his own, just batting and batting and batting. And I think that's obviously the difference between guys who are good and who are great, and he's certainly had a great career.
He certainly is in that bracket of greats and backbone of the West Indian side, opening the batting for the team. He's taking guard there. I think he's on leg stump there, Lee, or was that middle?
I've had my eyes lasered just a few years ago, Bjorn. Not even I can work that one out from this distance. But the captain, Ian Martin, tried his best this week with a Welsh side that was pulled together relatively last minute, sadly to the loss of the Bangladesh side, who couldn't get visas, which was massively disappointing. I know some of the guys do extremely good work out in Bangladesh, and hopefully the next World Series we'll be able to get both sides in.
Definitely. And I think Ian's really grown as a captain as he starts to understand the strategies of last man stands format and his players and what all the strengths are. He's opening up with himself, which I think is a good idea.
Straight into his work here. Chanderpaul just runs it down to third man. He's going to look for a second run. But no, that's Dion holding out at the backward point boundary, and there's one run there, so that's a solid start for both sides.
Solid on that from the boundary there. They won't be taking two to him. Straight over the stumps there, like a rocket.
I know Dion's been involved in the Glamorgan setup through his younger years, and he's a very accomplished player, and like most young players these days, they all seem to have a rocket arm. So Ian's going to come over to the right-hander here, JD.
Nice shot to get off the mark there. And the gap on the onside. And Chanderpaul back on strike. Big appeal from Ian.
Just a little insight onto the back pitch. It is extremely close on the back pitch. Scotland have had 2 people retire, and they only need 11 over. They need 45 off 24 on the back pitch to beat New Zealand. So I actually think that is an absolute crunch game in that group. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that one.
Just got to keep chipping away and keep it within reach for that last over with the home run possibility.
As Martin comes into Chanderpaul, just pushed out towards the extra cover area there. Chanderpaul looks for 2, but turned back by JD. So this game's just well in its infancy here. Both teams just working each other out. That was a solid start for the USA side, but I think Chanderpaul knows he's going to have to put himself in a key part in this innings to ensure that the USA get up to a score around that 150, 160, which puts them in the game against this Welsh side. So the Welsh are going to keep with this slow bowling tactic, which they employed the other day, which nearly got them over the line against Australia. This is the Neston captain, David Hurst, who qualifies through the grandparents' route.
I believe so.
His nan is from Holywell. Now Dave is quite a wily bowler. He gets an awful lot of overs for Neston. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't get as many if he wasn't captain, but he's started well here.
That comes with the job, bit of a privilege. You're going to take on the role, get a few gimmies.
what's been great about this tournament is obviously it's gone far and wide all around the world, but even locally, I know Dave was getting watched by a number of people online as the ball gets hit out to deep mid-wicket, and that is a very, very sloppy piece of fielding out of deep mid-wicket there, through the hands, and JD hits the first American boundary.
JD, have you seen much of him play? It doesn't look like he's the quickest between the wickets, and that he's going to be looking to be the striker between the two, Chanderpaul and him, and just work the boundaries.
USA team there just taking a chance to wave to loved ones and friends at home there as Hurst comes back in. Well, he's certainly trying to minimise a repeat into the leg side there, but he overcompensated and that was a wide. So a little bit of pressure on Hurst here, 5 off the first 2 balls as he comes in. And you can see that JD's looking to work the ball on the leg side as soon as he gets any opportunity. He was down on one knee there and just plays it away down towards the canal.
Is to the short boundary on the leg side for the right-hander. Could be 2 here. Good turn from Chanderpaul. He makes it easily home.
Will be interesting to see if these sides believe a slightly lower score is competitive. I don't think either side have got absolute genuine strikers. I think both sides are keen to certainly improve on the scores that they've managed to post in this tournament. That ball fielded by Darren Leach down at the deep fine leg boundary area.
I think the USA will have at least 160 in mind. This first innings, that they'll be comfortable they can defend that. Score now is 15 after 2 overs, no wickets down. Chanderpaul on 8, JD on 7.
Just a little update again from the Scotland game. They require 34 off 19 balls. That's 11 and over. Sam Ferguson 20 not out off 11 balls here. Rob Bainbridge is 1 not out, but they've got 2 men retired in the hutch here. As Chanderpaul again just punches the ball down the ground. This time he gets 2.
Beautiful shot there from Chanderpaul.
Massively in control here. Massively in control as another boundary goes on pitch 2. And New Zealand must start to be panicking here now.
As a cue, I'd be very nervous. I think the balance has swung to Scotland.
It just shows the little nuances of MS cricket, though. As JD turns down probably the easiest single of the competition there. Chanderpaul wasn't overly happy there. But it just shows Scotland took an absolute drilling against England in the first game. They've managed to strengthen the squad up a little bit. Fraser Watts and Rory Johnson have come in and been massively impressive.
Fraser Watts, a quality player. It's amazing what 1 or 2 players can do for a side and change them up. Look at India with Wasim Jaffer.
I think it's obviously a clear improvement in quality, but someone like Fraser Watts for Scotland, he's got 24 today, but his intensity and his enthusiasm to do well for his country is just fabulous. And I know from speaking to him in the comms box the other day that they targeted this game as an opportunity to potentially qualify. They're looking for those quarter-final spots. This is an interesting tactic from the USA. The USA really haven't done anything so far, have they? They've just manoeuvred the ball around here. They're quite happy to pick up 1s and 2s and look for that bad ball. Trying to set some sort of platform here.
They could possibly be looking to turn those 1s into 2s and just push it a little bit more intensity out there. Lee?
I think so. I think it's tough for Chanderpaul. It's quite clear that JD is, I wouldn't say keen on running too many 2s and 3s here. So just putting a little bit of pressure on Chanderpaul here if JD isn't finding the boundary. And he's just moved that into the leg side. And another single. Hurst will be happy how he's came back here after that early boundary and wide in his first over, but he seems to have settled down now. He'll be happy he's in the red kit, a massive Liverpool supporter.
No one's perfect.
Who do you support, Bjorn? The Kaiser Chiefs?
Can't go wrong with the Kaiser Chiefs. They've had a terrible season last season. I think it's about to start the new season, but been out of it for a while.
It's always nice as a commentator working as a pair when the hot drink comes across. And there's only one. So Bjorn, as a senior member of the LMS staff, is going to be able to speak a little bit more here as he enjoys his hot drink.
Just to put things in perspective, I've been waiting for this coffee since 8 o'clock this morning at the ground, and it's finally arrived after much remonstrations from myself.
Just to make it clear, it wasn't from the coffee shop here at the ground, it came via Starbucks, so that's a lovely shot out into the deep there. And another single. Just going to keep an eye on this back pitch because obviously at the moment this game's just taking a little while to really heat up.
I've noticed that the Kiwis have got much quieter.
Well, at the moment, the runs are quite a 17 off 13 balls.
Oh, that's a great shot there. He's picked that one up finally. That's a 6. Great shot from JD.
And there you go, quite quickly. It's all changed on the back pitch there. A double play.
Double play. Can you believe it?
Double play. And that brings out Joe Rose. And that'll also bring out one of the retire batters as well. So, Kazim Farid. 50 off 16 balls. That's unbelievable striking.
That must be the highest strike rate so far of the tournament. Well, the quickest to retire. I know some of the guys have come back and really kicked on.
Okay, new batsman there's Tom Blackwell. He's coming over the wicket here. Chanderpaul's realised quite quickly that there's an opportunity to walk across the stumps. Blackwell's pitched outside the leg stump and he's run it down to the fine leg area where Wales' quick bowler Darren Leach has just trotted around and rolled it in.
I think Tom Blackwell's the new bowler there, not the new batsman there, Lee.
Sorry, apologies. This is what happens, you see. I'm just so excited about the game on the back
You're missing out on your coffee there, Lee.
Yeah, I can't stay switched on. As JD just pushed it out to cover again.
It's a good place to bowl there for Tom. I think that's the area he needs to target, just outside off there. Get the guys pushing forward. Wales will be happy with the ones.
And Chanderpaul again, just down the ground. I feel like Chanderpaul just feels like he needs a boundary here. He's obviously been very much in control of his innings here. As 20 off 16. JD's been the slightly more destructive of the pair, 16 off 8. As he just rocks back there. So that's where I'd just like to see the USA maybe looking for a second run there.
Just to put a little bit of doubt in the fielder's mind. Often you get them just taking their eyes off it slightly and there's a chance for 2. So I definitely think JD needs to up his intensity while running the first run.
This is really good, this, from Wales. They've got to be really happy with this start here. Maybe just 1 or 2 wickets, and they'd feel well and truly comfortable with the start here. If the USA keep on this scoring rate, we're going to be looking at a score around that 150, 152 mark.
So it's 38 after 5, and we're just going to have a quick look at the...
14 off 10 is the equation, and that looks like Milton Kavanagh to Rose. He's just pushed that towards extra cover. Try and take in as much of this game as possible, because I think this is coming to a very exciting end on the back pitch here. Not that we haven't got an exciting game on the front here, Bjorn, but obviously that's right near the end over there.
Yeah, and it's going to change the table if Scotland can pull up an upset here.
We're going to stay with this game, and we'll just keep you in the loop of what's going on in the USA game here. As Kavanagh's, that is a massive, massive play in this game. He's just, I think that looks like 5 wides.
I think it's, yeah, it's just come off the pad, so you won't get the extra ball. I think he signalled a leg by there, the umpire.
8 off 9, now 8 off 9. As JD goes out in the deep.
Oh, he's put it down.
He's put the chance down out there, and they didn't even run. So it's a dot ball as Kavanagh comes in again. What a shot that is by Farid. He's just gone across, he's gone to paddle, and Kavanagh's actually done a really good job there to read it, and he's just reversed the hands and took it away. As on this pitch, JD's just taken the ball down to fine leg. Captain Martin will just roll it in. That's 2 more to the USA score. As Milton Kavanagh comes in. Farid.
That's another big upset. Scotland have taken it.
That's unbelievable finish there. Scotland must be absolutely delighted, and that's going to really, really hurt the New Zealand side here.
It's really good for the pool games and the excitement of the Last Man Stands World Series to see these young, smaller teams, smaller nations really putting their hand up and saying we're here to be, not just to be counted, we're going to take a few scalps.
So if the production team can help us out here as Wales just put another catch down. We'll go back to pitch 1 here. We can see Farid as the hero on the back pitch there as Scotland have beaten New Zealand. But we're going to come back to Wales versus the USA. And while we've gone away, there's been 2 very, very comfortable chances for the Welsh.
2 easy chances, and the old adage, catches win matches, Lee. So we'll have to have a look at that at the end of the game. Could that be the difference here for Wales?
The Welsh side really started pretty upbeat here. You know, those drop catches, you can just see the heads have just dropped a fraction here.
Keepers trying to rev them up, good going. But yeah, they're a bit quiet now in the outfield. There's not too much noise here. They really need to get behind the bowlers and lift their game a bit.
Be interesting to see if the USA just start putting the foot down here now. 42 or 6 overs, they've really not broken sweat.
That's 8 and over. It's not bad for the first 5 without a wicket down. Now the smiles all round as Lee gets a coffee. Thank you, Chris.
And thank you, LMS. Founder Wayne Grieve as appear to have managed to get your cup, so wins all round.
Happy days. So I think 8 and over for the first 5. Probably a good game plan. With no wickets down. That's a really good platform for USA. Even though it's been a little bit pedestrian, we felt, with the running between the wickets, they'll be happy with this situation for them.
I think so, and straight away they're building on that platform. Hit strongly into the leg side. That's JD. It really has took the imagination of the local area though, Bjorn. Great to see so many of the local clubs down here supporting it.
It's nice that we've got a few of the local club players involved in this tournament. And the England side and the Wales team. And obviously the English game this evening is going to be a real cracker. And I hope that the locals come down to support the side.
It's funny though, you look back as someone who's been playing cricket for a long time, and there's people who do inspire, and you earlier days, and hopefully some of these young players have got to see, whether they're franchise players or some very talented LMS players, they've been inspired. I've actually just spotted one of my heroes, Bjorn, on the far side of the ground, towards the back pitch near the sight screen there, a silver-haired fella in a grey t-shirt. His name's Darren Warburton, and he was one of my absolute heroes growing up. Not the best batter or bowler, but had a massive heart, brilliant fielder, and I always remembered as a young lad following him around the ground and watching him bat with real interest. So hopefully some of these young lads get to see someone out here in the next coming days that may be that guy for them.
Oh, exactly. It's all about pushing yourself and having role models to aspire to. I think fantastic experience, even though the South African side lost today, to get to play with a coach of Nick Potter's caliber. The insights that they're getting.
So Campion comes around the wicket here. It's a big appeal, he's gone! I think he just got a little bit of grip there. The keeper seemed really happy with it.
That turned a lot there, Lee. I really want to have a look at this replay. Seemed to turn sharply, and JD had no answer to that ball. Just wonder if maybe it turned a little bit too much, but difficult to say from this position. Let's have a look here.
Pitch is in line.
Oh, easy decision for the umpire.
A brilliant decision there. Just watching this from side on here.
Side on, see if it's too high. No, I think that's a good decision.
Good. That is really good. He's happy with that. And I know speaking to the umpires on Tuesday night, Bjorn, it's amazing. You know, there's 4 guys who've been doing the matches here, and they're under immense pressure. Obviously part of LMS as well, as they score on the phones as well.
Right, yeah.
And some of the decision making has been absolutely first class.
Yeah, I think they've got the hardest job out of everyone here, and they've been doing really well. I mean, I think it's been 1 or 2 bad decisions, but I mean, out of all the crickets that have been played, it's an excellent strike rate for the umpires. They've been really, really top. Good camera work there as well from QTV. They also have long days, good hours that the cameramen are putting on, so thanks to all the cameramen and QTV putting on a great show for us.
We actually had a club game here last night, Bjorn, and I may have made my way up the scaffold myself just to see what the vantage point was like for our cameraman down here. I can honestly say after 5 minutes it's certainly a job for him and not for me, but what a view there was up there, and they're the views that you're getting down the lenses here thanks to QTV.
New batsman Mahesh on strike.
Straight away you can see there could be a potential for a run out here. I was going to say a potential for more runs between the wicket, 1s and 2s, but he turned blind there. And the young players watching always try and turn and face where the ball is.
But definitely seems like he's got a little bit more intensity than JD, and he's going to be looking to push, put a bit more pressure on the fielders. Just needs to be a bit more aware, as Lee said. Yeah, just
as the keeper comes running down right in front of us here, picks it up. They're going to look for a third. There isn't.
Good effort by the keeper there. Score now, it's 52 for 1.
So what's a good score here now, Bjorn? What are we looking at? Because Chanderpaul's 25 off 20. It looks like he's settled in to let all the lads bat around him here.
I think that's the game plan. I mean, he's not going to be Abdul Razak, but hopefully with Mahesh there'll be a bit more 2s on offer.
See that single there, Bjorn? To people at home, that looks like the easiest shot in the world. He's just rocked across to the ball, spinning across him, and just like caressed it into mid-wicket. That's a really tough cricket shot.
Played it late with a flick of the wrist there. I think projected score.
Just looking at Shiv Chanderpaul's world ranking at
amazing.
LMS. He's 39,454 in the world, with an average of 50 and a strike rate of 160. So it's amazing for so many batters that play LMS. They're actually ahead of the great Shiv Chanderpaul.
Yeah, we take a screenshot of that. Put it up in your wall.
So projected scores there. Currently 138. I think they've got to go something from there, haven't they, Bjorn?
So I think they need to go at 8 and over, and then that's going to be their target.
So if they can look to maybe have 2 decent overs here, go to halfway at say 70, and maybe really put the foot down, and they can look at that 160, 170 mark.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to get 170, but 160 definitely is possible if they can pick up a few boundaries and run hard between the wickets.
Your shot there, Chris. One-handed all this. Never take off. Never from the best mate.
Chanderpaul now on 28 of 22 balls. Strike rate's getting better and better.
Low score this.
Just seeing a couple of the South African lads popping around here, Bjorn. Obviously they've just been on the back end of a second defeat of the tournament here.
It's the Masters lads, they're coming for a little net.
That's perfect, Bjorn. Are you playing any of the Masters stuff, Bjorn?
No, I think I'm going to sit this out. We've got a full side.
Looking forward to taking those boys on in the morning. The England team's come together quite nicely.
They'll be up for it. I think some of them will be thinking, why weren't they picked for the main team?
Well, I certainly definitely think that'll be a conversation as on the back pitch. There's I think that's the Masters game gone on over there, is it, Bjorn? Or a friendly, or?
Yeah, that looks like the Aussie Barbarian side taking on the Masters Pakistan team. It's a combination of Australians, New Zealanders, and anyone they can get their hands on. Shivnarayan Chanderpaul asking for the water.
One person playing for the Masters team for Pakistan is our good friend Ali. My favourite person I've had in the box so far. No offence, Bjorn.
No, none taken. He's an absolute star in the commentary box. He actually kicked me out, and rightly so. He's really funny. He's a good guy. I haven't seen much of him play though. Is he opening up the bowling there?
He might be. He'll certainly be in the thick of the decision-making process. I actually had a little look at his Twitter profile. What an impressive man he really is. He's obviously involved in the South Punjab Cricket Project through LMS, and he's also heavily involved in politics there as well. So we're extremely lucky to have him here, and I know he was central to our special visit the other day.
No, all the Pakistan Last Man Stands management, very special characters, and doing an outstanding job in Pakistan.
The ball goes up. It's hit extremely firmly, and Mahesh has gone to 8 off 3 balls. Okay, Bjorn's just jumped out the box here, and I'm lucky to be joined by local overseas star Chris MacArthur from the Upton Cricket Club. Good afternoon, Chris.
Hey Lee, how you doing, mate?
He's obviously got this huge beard. We'll get that close up. We'll make sure it gets right in there so we can hear you. As that's a wide, just down the leg side there. So I know both of us had the chance of playing some LMS cricket against the South African side in a friendly last week. Enjoying the format, Chris?
Yeah, it was good fun. Great to have a run around with the boys from Chester.
And have you managed to get taken many of the games so far today?
Yeah, I was here this morning. Got to watch the Aussies play against Singapore. It was a good game. Met most of the boys too, which was good.
There's some big lads in that Aussie side. Did you meet Zia the Bass?
I did, yeah. Big boy, that guy. Absolutely massive.
He hit it 5 rows back here, 5 houses back the other day. So that was really a sight to be seen. But we're on a slightly different wicket today. We're nearer the canal as Campion comes in again. That's a dot ball. So what do you make of this format, Chris? What's your take on it?
Good fun. Played a few games with Upton earlier in the year, which was good. We're into the final against Neston, hopefully next week when we get that sorted. And then obviously played against the South African boys on last Friday before the tournament started, which was good fun. I think it's a great format.
Is there any particular part of it that you enjoy? Because obviously for me, I'll be honest with you, I'm not the quickest across the ground. I very much enjoy the concept that you can hit a 12. You know, last ball of the innings, hit a 12. I think it's a fantastic thing to be able to do.
Good incentive.
Good incentive not to get out in that final over.
Exactly.
What about yourself? Is there any part of the game that you particularly enjoyed?
I guess for myself, batting up the top of the order, it's good to, I guess, have a licence and play some shots a little bit earlier than what you probably would in the other formats that you play, and especially back home, playing the longer formats over the two days during the week. Obviously, you're playing the longer format, so it's a bit more difficult to sort of pick your moments. But obviously, with this format, you're a bit pressed for time, and you've got to go a bit earlier than perhaps what you normally would, which is good.
Just to jump in there at the halfway point here, the USA team are 71 for 1 as Captain Ian Martin's brought himself up here to the City Road end to bowl to Shivnarine Chanderpaul. I'm sure many of his family wouldn't have thought that had ever been said on live commentary. But the skipper's looking to get that key breakthrough here. Chanderpaul's looking to anchor the innings. So do you expect Chanderpaul to kick on, or just let him be back? Let the lads bat around him here.
Very much. I reckon he'd probably do what he does best: bat through the innings, anchor it for the boys, and hopefully the other guys can come in and hit a few towards the end to knock up the total to something defendable, I guess.
Well, this is the game at the moment. Obviously, neither side have won a game so far in this tournament. Both been extremely lucky, but we're looking at a par score around that 160, 170 here. If you were the USA, would you be happy with that, or would you looking for a few more?
I'm not too sure how they went in their other games, but
well, neither side have won a game, Chris, so far, so they're both struggling a little bit with the bat and the ball at the moment.
More so total-wise, but yeah, I think the games that I watched this morning, both teams 180 odds, so I think you'd probably be looking at that as a decent score, I think.
Just as Martin comes here to Mahesh, back of a length here, Martin runs across, stops the single, dot ball. Dot balls are vital in this format. So the Australian side obviously were upset on the first day. They didn't get over the line, and they've managed to come back with a couple of wins. Anyone take your eye in that side today?
Definitely Abbas with the bat, big boy. He hit another one into the houses over the far end today, which was good to watch. The opener, left armour.
Jake O'Connell.
Yeah, he's pretty quick. Good to come in at the start of an innings. Hopefully take a few wickets. And
he's actually ranked 1 in Australia in this format, Chris. Just to let you know, he was the top player in the Australian Championships. So I know a few clubs maybe locally to here. I'd say pretty close. They're probably having a look at that lad as a seam bowling option for next year. He seems to be enjoying the Chester area. And he plays his cricket in Brisbane. So just a little bit about yourself. Obviously having a very successful season with the Upton Cricket Club. Just as we come to the end of this over, we'll notice that we've got one more. No, it is over. So that's 74 off the 11 over. So Upton having a successful season. We had your chairman Jez Lamb in the box a couple of days ago. You're going well. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your season personally? Because I think Jez spoke for about 5 minutes about how great the rest of the club was, so we might as well hear about something else.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic 2 seasons for me. Played last year. I think I ended up on 900 and something for the season, which was pretty good for my first year. Coming back again, obviously having different goals in mind, obviously wanting more runs. I think I'm just ticked over 1,000 for the year for league and cup runs, which is good. Obviously building on the platform that was set last year, and it's a fantastic club. Highly recommended to anyone looking to have a dig overseas, which is good.
As a change of bowling at this end, and it's Holden. He's started with a very loose delivery there. It's fair to say that probably should have gone 10 rows back, but it was just patted out to deep mid-wicket. So obviously coming towards the end of the season for yourself here, as Holden massively improves his length there and goes past the bat of Mahesh. What are the goals? 6 games to go. In the promotion places, surely you're looking to hold on to that and reach the promised land of the Premier League.
Yeah, very much so. Very excited for the last sort of month and a half of the season. In a pretty decent position. Looking forward, obviously, only I think about 35 points off Hyde, who we've got this week. Top the table clash, which is pretty exciting. So hopefully we can pick up a few points there and increase the gap.
So Mahesh there just hits it out to deep mid-wicket. There was a fumble. They come back for 2. These two are running much better together here. As Holden comes in, it's a strong strike. It's come out to David Hurst in the deep, and he's caught it.
Good catch, that.
A lovely catch. I'm sure we'll hear about that later on, but that was a brilliant catch from Hurst. He didn't go for the double play. A little bit naivety. Okay. I don't even know what I'm trying to say there, Chris.
Naivety?
Yes, still can't say it. So
that's the one you're after.
Yeah, good lad. But he should have gone for the double play there, but that was a fantastic catch, and the Welsh team come together. So yeah, it's a really good catch down in the deep there, and nonchalantly just rolls it back in. I think we'll just ask him what he was doing there. Dave, just wondering why he didn't go for the double play there, Dave. Completely forgot. I thought so. Thanks, Dave. But Dave will definitely be in the box. He was fantastic the other day. He got a really good 20 against Australia until he got destroyed by Jake O'Connell. And that's been shown locally quite a lot on social media, much to the joy of most of the players in his own club and ours. But he'll be back out there later, so that'll be worth a watch. So Mahesh there, 12 off 9, strike rate of 133 and a 6. So the USA here need to go some a little bit just to get to that 150, 160. So are you aware of LMS being played back in Australia, Chris?
Yeah, it's been around for a little while. I've not known too much about it myself personally, but after having come across it here in England and playing a few games, obviously you want to learn a bit more about it. And yeah, obviously it's as I said, it's been around for a couple of years in Oz. I'm pretty interested to probably get involved in it too when I get back home, I think.
I must admit, it's something that I wasn't overly clued up on, but to see it being played in this World Championship Series, it has made me think that I'd like to improve my world ranking and maybe have an opportunity at playing in this event myself. So just looking at some world rankings before, obviously Dion's relatively new to this. He's ranked at 50,733 in the world. So every wicket will help his rankings.
Certainly will.
I know you must have accrued some good ranking points recently, Chris.
I haven't actually seen my ranking actually. And be interested to see especially after the trial match against the South African team.
Oh, the keeper was happy with that. He went up for it, but the bowler wasn't. He shrugged it off. And Chanderpaul's 38 off 33. He needs to put his foot down here and probably look to get retired. Give the rest of his team the opportunity to kick on with that distinctive stance. Martin comes into Chanderpaul. A little but he's going to look for 2 here. There's definitely 2 down to Darren Leach there. He's treading water in the deep as he comes round. And picked up well, and the throw comes in. So I think Chanderpaul's probably going to look to make sure he's securely retired to give some of these USA lads the opportunity to strike. At the other end, it's Nair. But Martin comes into Chanderpaul once again. A little dab.
Could get 4, yeah.
It's an amazing outfield here, and I'm sure the groundsman Alex Kegg will just be giggling to himself as he sees another player running after a ball that they can't stop. He does a fantastic job on this outfield. And Chanderpaul's just playing no-risk cricket here. It's a completely different way of going about it. We've obviously seen Razak and Wasim Jaffa hitting it to all parts, but Chanderpaul is just caressing it all around the park as he comes down the ground. And he's out. Oh, Martin goes for the big celebration here.
Loves it. Big wicket. Very big.
And that's the end of Shiv Chanderpaul. And Chanderpaul, marquee player here, is striding off. And I think we're going to be lucky enough, Chris, for him to just jump in the box. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to get Shiv in for a couple of minutes. And
Not a
then
problem.
we'll catch you back in just a bit. That's Chris MacArthur, overseas player for the Upton Cricket Club. So Wales getting the wicket there of Chanderpaul. And that's 85 for 3. Let's have a look at who the incoming batsman is there. So that was 44 off 37 there. And Martin will be looking to try and pick up another wicket quite quickly. So who's the new batsman? Shiv? We can't. We're just waiting for the graphics. Oh, there it is. So it looks like Devani there, who's come in as well. And so did you enjoy that?
Yes. Would have been a little better if we could have pushed it on a bit more, but bowling a lot of off spinners out there, a bit slow. They're bowling very slow out there, and it's not easy to hit the ball. You have to try and make your own pace.
It certainly looked a lot easier. I know the batsman who came in, I think it was Nair who came in, he just wanted to run a little bit more with you, try and turn the ones into twos.
Yeah, we needed to push a little harder, push the guys in the boundary and try and get a couple more twos. Yeah, but we still have a few overs to go, and hopefully we can get close to 150.
It's gone high into the air here. It comes out to David Hurst. Watch it sails over his head for 6 in air. And maybe that's the shift that the USA team need here. He was right on the boundary down here, Hurst. He's not the tallest on the side, and it's just sailed over his head there. So, have you got any players left in the side who are able to clear the rope?
Yeah, definitely. There are a few other guys in there who can do that.
As it goes
a couple
again.
more sixes like that would help us.
And that's 6 more as it flies into the housing estate here. And this is the shift in pace from there. So he's gone to 13 off 4 balls here.
It's much easier for the right-hander to pick the off-spinners up. Yeah, hopefully he could carry on a bit more.
Going to go again here. It's gone deep. Fielder comes in at mid-off. There it is. There's the catch. Massive shout out from the captain here, Martin. Come on, Wales. He senses there's an opportunity there to maybe put a bit of pressure on the USA, but that's 97 for 3. So just for yourself there, was your aim just to try and get to retirement? And
yeah, definitely. We're looking to probably hit a 6 and then go off. Couldn't get close enough to get enough bat in it. And eventually hold out to the boundary here. It's hard to hit the off spinners. If it was left arm spinners, leg spinners, would probably be easier for me. But when they're bowling the off spinners and bowling that slow and turning away from you, it's not that easy to hit. So Yeah, but we have a lot more right-handed batsmen, so that would probably help us.
Well, Wales have decided, as we look at Nair's 13 off 5 balls there, 2 sixes. He's just moved the score on quite quickly there. Dion Holden with another wicket. Yeah, they do seem quite heavy on, just very slow right arm off spinners, this Welsh team.
There's a lot of off spinners in the team, yeah.
This wicket seems a little bit less spin friendly than the old wicket we've been playing on for the last few days, but it still seems quite slow.
It's got a bit of spin in it if you spin the ball. You just, you know, they're bowling pretty slow on it, and there's some pace there.
So what are your hopes? Are you hoping for 150 here, or?
Yeah, it depends on how well we go. Push a little harder. Hopefully we get close to 150. Looking a little hard now. You know, 6 overs to go. We have to do really well to get there. So
from a Lancs viewpoint, disappointing in the T20 the other night. They looked like they were cruising.
Yeah, at one stage I looked at his score and I said, yeah, we have this one. And then later on I realized we lost the match. I was like surprised myself.
Well, we obviously we have a contracted player attached to us. We have Jordan Clark here at Chester. Texting him last night, he was extremely disappointed.
I guess all the guys would have been, you know, we all, you know, expecting to win, and then, you know, it didn't happen. So everybody would have been a bit disappointed about it.
So when the T20s are going on, do you carry on practicing or play second team cricket or enjoy playing some LMS? Or?
Right, I do everything I need to do to keep myself in order. Go into practice and then come out here, play a little bit play wherever I can play a little bit, and just to keep going. You know, keep your eyes on you know, keep your eyes going, keep everything going. Your technique, your get some practice wherever you can, get some time out in the middle. That's what I try to do. So
have you got long until the next championship game now?
The next championship game is on the 19th. Yeah, we play in Surrey at the Oval, so yeah.
So I'm sure you'll be looking forward to getting back to the championship, and hopefully we can see your USA side post a good score here.
Well, hopefully, yeah. Hopefully the guys could, yeah, play some shots and you know, see where we could take the score. Probably try and get it as close to 150.
That's a nice shot down the ground, and that's exactly what Shiv Chanderpour was talking about there. As a left-hander, it's a little bit more difficult as the ball goes away from the bat there, so they're going to have to readjust here. That's Venkat just pushing it down the ground there, but Shiv, thanks for coming across. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
And good luck for the rest of the game.
Cheers.
So a couple of wickets, Bjorn, since you left the box. Obviously we've been very lucky as we just get a little glimpse of the Masters game on the back there between Pakistan and, what do they call themselves again, Bjorn?
It's the Australian Barbarians.
Solid name that, isn't it? The Barbars.
Can't go wrong when you're short of 2 players and you don't know who the last 2 players are going to be.
So this is Holden to Sid. He hits it hard down the ground. This has got a chance. And that's 4 more to the USA side. So they're just starting to motor here.
What a lovely shot. Just split the field there. Straight past the bowler.
Some of the England team just going past us here. Batter of the day, Aaron Lomas from yesterday. And David Nielsen Scott. I've learnt his name completely now, so I won't get any more abuse online. As Holden comes in. Just hit out towards the sweeper there. And actually, just going past here, I'm interested to know, this is KB from the India team. How are we getting on, KB? Are we ready to play again? Hope so. Today, tomorrow? So that's great news for guys following this. Obviously, KB got a pectoral injury as the ball's hit firmly down the ground again, and that splits the fielders. That's 4 more. That's a lovely shot from Venkat there. But that's KB from India. He had a pectoral strain on the second day. Was rushed to hospital, and he's managed to fight back here, and hopefully he'll take the field today, Bjorn.
Yeah, it's going to be a good contest, India-England. Hoping for another upset. England are the favourites, and it'll be good for the table to see India win that one. I think India need to win it to give themselves a shot of going through to the knockout stages of the tournament. Definitely be wearing my India shirt later on today. And Wasim Jaffer will be playing for India, and we'll see how England do without their star marquee player, Nick Compton, who sits out this match. He had some duties to perform back in London.
Just looking at that pool, that win from Scotland has really put New Zealand in a bit of a hole there. And if India were to win against England, that would really open up this group.
Yeah, it's been a good tournament so far with some unpredictable results, and it keeps it interesting. Not too many dead rubbers on the cards. Each game is a must-win game, and India will be up for it today.
I think that's one thing I've definitely noticed just as the week's gone on, that the intensity's just rose just that little bit there. People know that there's opportunities to play in finals day on, when the quarterfinals or the semi-finals, and maybe some of the teams at the start of the week were just easing into it, but now we're absolutely at full throttle, aren't we?
100% Lee.
But it's great to get such an insight. Obviously, we just had Chris MacArthur in the box from Australia there. He obviously has played a bit of LMS over in the UK and in Australia as well. So you can see that, obviously LMS is getting all over the world and people are enjoying it and getting the opportunity to play it while they're travelling or whether they're playing overseas. So certainly a lot of positives to take as Blackwell comes in again. He's just coming to the end of his fourth over. He's been very economical, not got the wicket yet.
Just the 23 runs gone from his 3 points. 3 overs so far, so good work from Tom.
As he comes into Venkat. And I think that's just come off the thigh pad. That's going to race away. You cannot bowl it has.
Just as we say that, he strays down the leg side.
So just to explain to the people at home, Bjorn, does the leg byes still stay as extras? Because wides go on the batsman, don't they?
It is a batsman's game, but leg byes and byes don't go to the batsman. It's just the wides and no balls. Reason is we didn't want it to affect the. We don't think the batsman should be affected negatively on the strike rate because the bowlers bowled a bad ball. So the wides and no balls are awarded to the batsman.
So looking at the projected score there, 146 if they keep going at this 7.3 and over. I think Venkat will fancy a few more than that. Maybe around that 155, that's 10 and over.
155 will be a decent total for USA. I think they'll be happy with that. Something to bowl at.
As David Hurst comes back into the attack here, there's quite a strong breeze going across the oval here at Chester Boughton Hall, the Filkins Lane ground.
He's been for quite a few boundaries. See if he can pull it back out. A good start to the over there. Settle those nerves.
Very clever cricketer, Hurst here. He's looking around to see where he can maybe squeeze a dot or as I say that, he's gone for probably the slowest ball of the tournament there. He's really tossed it up into the air. Opportunity of a run out. Lovely throw.
Great fielding there. I think he's just trying to, he's got the long boundary for the right-hander on the leg side, and he tossed it up saying, come on, have a go, mate. And trying to buy a wicket there. Let's see what he does here. Much quicker. And the batsman dealt with that a lot better. I think he's got to take the pace off the ball.
He went for the double teapot there. He wasn't happy with himself as he's launched an extremely slow ball again into the batter's arc. I'd like to just see him go into the wicket a little bit more, Bjorn. I understand he wants to use this long boundary, but he's got to come into the wicket. That's a bit better a length there. As the ball's hit out, inside out towards Martin at the extra cover boundary. I just think if Wales can maybe get one or two more wickets now, that they can maybe restrict the USA side to under 150. But Hurst really needs to look at his length here. He's over pitched again, and that's 4 more.
Battling a bit here. The different dimensions here of this field. Short on the leg side for the left-hander. He's just dispatched there for 4, and his figures now 3 overs, 35 runs, no wickets. So he's going at over 11 and over. His captain won't be happy with that.
He's not happy as he comes down to long off, but he'll have an opportunity with the bat second innings to rectify that. And to be fair to David, he was a great sport when he came into the comms box the other day after he got out. He really did bat beautifully until he got knocked over. But
well bowled.
I think that could be 2 more though. Very unfortunate. May even look for a third here. Yeah, they've gone for it.
Much better running. It's going to be tight.
And we're just seeing a little bit more intensity from the Sri Lankan side between the wickets. I know Chandler Paul spoke about the fact that he was obviously maybe not used to facing some of this very slow off spin, but the ball was going away from him in his innings, but he was looking to anchor it. But Venkat here and
Devaneni.
Cheers, Bjorn. I think he knew my pause was for some help there. And I got it, so I appreciate that.
Just have to let me know if I nailed it there or completely messed it up, but I had a crack. And Venkat rotating the strike.
So if we're on Facebook Live, if you want to tell us if you're a Welsh supporter or from the USA or from anywhere around the world, who you think is going to win this game. At the moment, it's right in the balance. And that's gone high. It's gone out towards Hurst in the deep, but it's just run away. That's a lovely shot down towards the netting area here.
Devaneni again. Another boundary to his name. Cleanly strikes the ball really well. And the USA will be happy with that.
They're just starting to line up some of these spinners. It'd be interesting to see if they maybe go back to some of the seam or a seam option. That's a lovely shot down the ground. Fielder comes round. Solid bit of fielding, just pops it over the top.
USA want a really good finish here. They're going to want to have that momentum, not only to get the score a bit higher, but just to give them a bit of excitement and confidence when they go into second innings, and this is exactly what they needed.
And that's 6 more. Venkat this time. He goes to 24 off 14. Hughes is right under the pump here. He's gone for 12 off his over. And it'll be interesting to see who Martin goes to for the final over.
We've just got the 2 ways that you can get involved with Last Man Stands, either as a player. Just go onto our website, lastmanstands.com/join, and you can join a team or create your own team. And if there's no LMS in your part of the world, there's no reason why you can't start it up. Just and become a franchise owner. Giving him another over here, which I think is a risk. We could see a big one.
It's gone high. Out to the fielder. Took the catch, going for the double play. But Hurst gets the wicket there. come behind us is Haroon Khan, part of the England team there.
Great catch by Hughes. He doesn't seem to drop many. He looks so solid under the high ball. That's his second catch of the match, third catch of the match.
So Hurst there just dropped it a fraction shorter. It was a risky tactic. The batter just couldn't quite get all of it. It was a solid catch, and Wales looked for the double play, but the USA still in a decent spot here. 4 balls left in this innings. They're going to be looking to get up to that 160 mark and maybe even get some more if they can hit the home run at the end.
The home run takes them to 170. Definitely looking to get up to 160 will be in the back of their minds now.
And I think 160 is going to be extremely competitive, Bjorn. I think this Welsh side have struggled to find a way of kind of building a total. And it'll certainly put them under a bit of pressure.
Siroth gone for 23 there. Useful knock and contribution to his side.
So at this stage of the innings, Bjorn, where would you be looking to, obviously this is quite a dynamic phase of the game, where would you be looking to strike now if you were out there?
I like to hit the ball pretty straight. So I would be, so obviously Carl Corner is a bit of a long boundary, but I'd be aiming for the commentary box. And testing out the windows, hopefully.
Peel there.
It's well bowled. Useful dot in the final over. It's like gold dust.
And we speak about momentum. And the Welsh just seem to be wrestling it back here, but could all go horribly wrong. We're just a couple of balls away from the final ball of the innings here. And the opportunity to hit a 12 as he bowls a wide. In the final over, is that ball re-bowled?
That ball will be re-bowled, and if he bowls another one, that'll also be re-bowled.
And will that be 3 also, or?
That's just one. It goes back to conventional rules for the wides and no balls.
I think Sheikh will be really disappointed there. He had the right idea. He just wanted to nudge it into the offside and take 2.
Sheikh on strike here. That's Venkat, which is good. It's the final ball of the over. There's one to come for the wide. I think.
So Hurst here, just so the people at home, he set his 2 guys on the leg side extremely straight. He's looking to bowl well outside the off stump here. And he has. It's gone high.
Oh, has he got it? No, not enough.
Oh, fielder's gone for the catch, and it's just bounced in front of him and gone for 4. So fielder's done well. He's been brave. He's gone for the catch. It hasn't come off. But Venkat gets a 4. That isn't doubled. It's only the 6. But I think the USA will be relatively happy. I think that's a par score, Bjorn.
I think both teams will be happy with that. Couple catches early on that Wales put down. I think that last chance there at the end was very difficult. But
as the Welsh team march off there, the captain, Ian Martin, I think he'll be relatively happy, just under 160, as he talks to his players here. Both teams will be desperate to get that first win.
I think the intensity, the second inning is going to pick up a lot between the two teams. Both be desperate for the win. And both will think that they've got this one. They just do the basics right. Wales want to set up a nice platform early on the first 5 overs. Try to be looking for maybe 45 off the first 5. And then see how the wicket's playing.
Just looking across on that back pitch there, it seems a lot of fun in the Masters series over there. Both players look like they're thoroughly enjoying it.
Both teams full of fun. Definitely enjoying themselves on and off the pitch. Let's look at the scorecard of the USA team there. And Chanapal laying the foundation, 44 of 37 balls. JD 28 of 19. Cascara never really got going there. Purva had 2 good shots. Pick of the bowlers there. I think Tom Blackwell and Adam Campion just going for 24. Dion Holden picking up the 2 wickets. Adam Campion picking up just the 1. Ian Martin, 4 overs, 1 for 19. Great bowling as well. And there we have it. Wales require 160 runs to win this match. This match obviously having very little bearing on the league table, but Singapore, South Africa and Australia all still have a lot to do in order to qualify for the knockout stages. Sri Lanka confirmed their spots at the top of the table. I don't think they'll get knocked off their perch. I can't see that happening, but cricket is a funny game. But they should finish top of the table and go through to the semis. Australia, South Africa tomorrow, mouth-watering contest, always fiercely competitive between the 2 nations. As we flick over to the Masters game with the Aussie Barbarians taking on the Pakistan Masters. Going to see if we can get a scorecard for the Masters game. I think Purva will open up the bowling for the USA team. He'll be looking to swing the ball into the right-hander and pick up some early wickets. A little bit of cloud cover above us, but the sun is trying to come out.
Just took a little walk over to nets there, Bjorn, to see some of the England boys. The captain, Nick Dalby-Walsh. He's going to come and pop into the box in this second half, give us a little insight into what it's like to be captain in one of these LMS national sides, and maybe just drum up a little bit of interest for that massive game. It won't need much, though, later in the day.
That's great to hear. Nick Dalby-Walsh, great LMS ambassador. He's played a lot of LMS throughout the years, and it's great to have him here representing his country and captaining his country.
So how do you decide on who is going to captain these countries? Do you work out which 8-10 players are the best to qualify, and then pick a suitable leader, or is there a?
We had to actually pick the captains first out of all the players, which I think actually makes it a bit easier. You build someone that's got leadership qualities and he's got a lot of LMS experience, and Nick certainly fits the bill. And then you obviously host your tournaments around the country, and then you pick your players based on the rankings and how they do at these tournaments. But Nick Dalby-Walsh certainly was picked early on, as he's been a stalwart of last man stands in England and London throughout the last few years.
So just looking at a few of these names in the Australian, New Zealand Barbarian team here in the Masters series, am I right in saying that that's Sam Lang, who also plays for the full Australia team?
The Masters team had a few injuries, and Sam Lang said he was short of a bit of batting practice, so he fancied a knock around. So I think he's having a hit with the older boys.
He's definitely not a spring chicken anyway, though, is he? He's definitely a more mature player.
Sam Lang's an absolute legend of LMS, and he has been playing since, I think, about 2009. So he certainly qualifies for the Masters, as in terms of being one of the older guys on tour. Real popular figure is Sam Lang, from all the way from Australia to England and South Africa. He's been on a lot of tours, made a lot of friends around the world.
I must admit, on Tuesday night, obviously with the rest day of Wednesday, it was a fantastic atmosphere outside the clubhouse after the day's play. It was nice to see so many players' performances being rewarded. Obviously, some of the co-branded gear from Bass was being handed out. LMS co-branded stuff from and Bass. Prizes being given out, which was fantastic.
Yeah, thanks very much to Bass for getting involved and supporting the event. And if you've seen Abdul Razak smash a few of those sixes, he's been using one of the bats. If you fancy getting one, just go to shop.lastmanstands.com/Bass and you can pick one up. Got a little mini game of garden cricket going on here by the Speckies, and some interesting bowling actions I've seen there, Lee.
Well, it's absolutely fabulous if the cameraman can help us out. There's actually a game of cricket going on in front of the Masters game here, where it appears they're using the esky, the cooler, which has got fold-out wickets attached, which is just a brilliant idea. Fabulous concept, whoever came up with that. But it certainly looks like
one hand, one bounce.
They're the best. Those sort of rules, something about one hand, one bounce. I know Nick Compton and Marcus North took part in a couple of games of that during the opening ceremony down in the changing room. They went to the toilet and they walked past the changing room door at Chester, and a few of the younger lads there were having a game of one-on-one bounce. He went into some great photos there.
Marcus North, Nick Compton being great for the tournament, really getting involved in all aspects, the social side as well as the cricket, and good to see them having a bit of fun with the youngsters from the local club here, Chester Boughton Hall Cricket Club.
I think that's Blake van der Linde just walking past here. He's already been offered to us in the commentary position by his captain, so he won't have that long in the nets.
They're looking a bit nervous there. They're looking like wary of this powerful India side of Wasim Jaffer.
But I know we've had some excellent... Oh, here we are. Got a bit of coverage.
Look at that keeper's technique there. In perfect position.
Oh, he's got him gone.
Oh, he's dropped it.
No, he's not. he pulls the sums back up there. And what a bat that is as well. That is the old Kookaburra bubble, famously used by... I know Graham Thorpe used that one. I'm trying to think of anyone. If anyone else online can tell me who used that style of bubble bat, then I'll be... that'd help me massively. But even going for the hat backwards as well. Fabulous day out for all ages, as the USA team are just getting ready to take the field here. Chasing 160 to win here at Chester Boughton Hall Cricket Club.
Batsman walking out to the middle, walking confidently as they stride to the crease. They look like they mean business today. USA team going in for the huddle there. Words of inspiration from Shivnarayan Chandapal perhaps. Purvan Nair, the captain. Looks like Shiva's giving a few words. Aussie Barbarians are 120 for 2 after 13 overs.
That pitch too has certainly been a bit of a nightmare pitch for the bowlers. The economy rates are sky high over there. It's a very, very flat wicket on the back pitch with very small straight boundaries. We heard the groundsman Alex Kegg tell us how that's a relatively new square. This square on the front pitch has been here since the start of the club, whereas the one on the back pitch is been only in since the 70s, has a little bit more pace and bounce.
So it's one of the pitches where you've got a big squad. You just put your hand up and say, I'll sit this one out, Skip. When you're playing on oval 2, if you're the bowler, if you're the batsman, that's the one you want to play on.
yeah. There's a cue ready for the batters on the back pitch. But
Nice.
the Welsh team are out here ready and raring.
How old is this club, Lee?
It's actually quite a good question. I'm just going to ask one of the speckies who's walked past. Just asking our media manager here at Chester. It's well over 100 years old. We're going to enjoy some of his commentary later in the day. I'm sure he'll be all statted up as well. He'll be ready to go. As Sid is going to be coming in from the city end here of the ground with the wind behind. He's going to be bowling to Neston's David Hurst. Looking at scoring 8 runs and over here, and we're in the power play. But the USA are starting with a 3-3 field as he comes in. He's got to look for 2 straight away here.
All fielded.
So that's a solid start. That's the kind of ball you want. First up, a nice juicy leg stump full toss. And that's been just pushed out to a deep mid-wicket.
Come on, Sid. Let's find your line and length here, outside off. Oh, it's clever cricket.
That's really nice from Hurst. He's looks like he means business here. He's just picked the length up. It was over pitched and it's just been paddled away with ease.
Perhaps here they should be taking a power play, Lee, with a fine leg and just bowling that, coming around the wicket and bowling the leg stump line.
I think there's 2 ways of looking at it, isn't it? There's obviously the fact that as soon as you go around the wicket as an off spinner, I think it's normally seen as a negative move. In this power play, that we go 4 on the leg side, and how they're going to take the wicket without maybe getting caught in the deep, dragging down.
Big long boundary there.
Yeah, or he could come over the wicket, just come slightly wider and try and spin it into the stumps, into the pocket there. Hope to be joined by Cheshire off spinner Harry Cloran later on. He's going to come and speak to us about the slow bowling here at Chester, something that he's been very successful with. But Sid here is going to continue with this over the wicket. 3 men on either side as he comes in.
Asking the question.
David Hurst was down straight away there to paddle. He probably sees that fine leg area as just free runs. He got down very early, but there was a massive appeal from Sid. It was just turned away quite convincingly by the umpire. But this is a good start for LMS Wales, a 7 for none. Got to look for 2 again here. Good. They're going to wait on.
Great fielding in the deep there by Purvaner, the skipper, showing how it's done. Good intensity for the batsman there, running the first one hard. Left that one down to fine leg.
That's a really good first over for LMS Wales. They're well up with the run rate. Asnair's going to take the second over here. I think LMS USA's best way of winning this game is to see if they can remove some of these top order batsmen from Wales. He seems to have got a little bit of quality up the top here.
Yeah, Purva's going to have to get the breakthrough here. He'll be itching for a wicket here just to keep his team in it. Knows this opening pair is vital to get an early breakthrough here.
Lovely shot. Just out to cover, takes a single. Just looking at some of the kits, Bjorn, if you just want to maybe fill some of the guys in at home. So obviously you play for a last man standing team. Is it all coloured kit or can you play in white?
It's up to the team, but most teams will have a coloured shirt, and then some of them it's just easier because if they play a bit of club cricket, it's easier to find a pair of white longs, so they'll have a coloured top and then white longs and the white pads. But more and more teams now are having the full uniforms of coloured trousers as well as the coloured shirts. And in the local leagues you get an extra point for looking the part.
So is that just you being nice to the clothing range, or do you actually get an extra point if you actually make the effort to get the kit?
You get an extra point. Obviously, when we started off and we weren't too strict, a lot of the teams looked a bit sloppy, and we've always wanted...
That looks really close!
Got him.
And he's gone. Batsman's looking at the umpire here. I don't know what... It's certainly full toss and...
Looked out. We'll have a look at the replay and we'll see. He's not happy with it. Let's have a look here.
I think he thinks this is going down. He's hit it.
I think he said it. I think he thinks it's going down. I think that's.
He's absolutely smashed this. I think after this angle now, if we could go back to that first angle, that'd be great.
Can't see from there, but it.
If we've got time just to go back to that first angle, that'd be brilliant. There we go. Thanks, guys. Just slow it right down. I'll be interested to see what he thinks there. I think there's a little inside edge, but if not, he thinks it's going down. I don't think there's too much wrong with it.
It was definitely going to hit if he didn't get a nick on it, and difficult one for the umpire. But possibly a slight inside edge there. Hard to tell. Lee thinks it's not out. I'm on the fence here. I'm waiting for another angle.
Well, I think David Hurst, when he either retires or gets out, is going to pop into the box. He was at the non-strikers, so he'll be able to give us a little bit of clarification there.
Big moment in the game that. The opener's doing really well.
Great celebration from there, though.
So with the kit question, back to that, Lee, we want obviously to give the players that professional feeling and experience, and the kit's definitely part of that and part of the enjoyment of looking and feeling like a professional player.
Just to give people an insight of what some of these players here at the World Series are getting to.
Great effort there, saved himself from a few blushes. Good recovery.
So for the players in the World Series here, they've come to represent the country. They've got a couple of sets of kit with the name on, which is obviously fabulous. Just going to watch this closely here. Here we go. This is really close, this. This is really close. Oh my bejesus.
Touch and go there.
I think you're far more generous than me there, Bjorn.
I think you got a little bit of a touch on the
rope. No, I think
as he picked it up there.
It's always tough to know exactly what's going on out there. Obviously, it's easier for us to watch it back. But I think the rope definitely stabilised him as he picked the ball up there. So, and the production crew doing a great job here. Online on Facebook Live, if you want to give us your thoughts on both those decisions. Do you think the batsman was out or not? Do you think it's a good decision from the umpire, or did the fielder out in the DP and manage to cut that off, or was that a four? So Remember, it's all live on Facebook Live. Give us your comments. So that's the end of the over here. So solid start here. David Hurst to 14 off 9. David Hughes, LW to Nair. And Adam Campion is 1 off 2. He's on strike here. As Nair starts his second over, he's 1 for 5. He's just angling the ball in again. Comes quite wide of the wicket. It could be an overthrow here. They go look for a second run. That's brilliant running from David Hurst there. He called Campion through. Sloppy fielding from the USA. But they're going to be smelling blood here if they can get that second wicket. He's not happy at all there, is he? Fuming.
Not happy at all.
It's a nice shot out into the deep again. So this Welsh team just easing into this this run chase. They're just about on and around that required run rate.
Every run's going to count here, Lee.
As Nair comes into Hurst. He just takes a signal into the offside here.
Possibly could have taken 2 there. There's no one at the stumps.
So obviously that's a tactic, that's an LMS tactic. On a Saturday you wouldn't dare potentially throw your wicket away just because there's no one at the stumps. But obviously it's risk and reward. Would you have took an extra single there?
Definitely. But I suppose it depends on the moment. They're only chasing 159 on a good deck, so potentially too risky, but I don't think they would have thrown the ball there because there's no one at the stumps.
So that's a really good shot there from Campion. As I've been joined in the box by Rory Johnson. Hi Rory.
How you doing?
So you're going to come and tell me how fantastic your Scottish team were today?
Yeah, they're pretty impressive today. Actually, real good comeback after that poor chase attempt against Pakistan. So great to get back in it. Yeah.
So over on pitch 2, high scoring game.
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different dimensions on that pitch. You got a real short boundary to one side. So yeah, scores were a lot higher. 212 playing 213. So
Appeared that the star for your team was Farid.
Yeah, he was absolutely outstanding. What did he end up on? He ended up getting 63 off 19, I think. Striking at 331, which is even in this format of the game is something else.
He's a very useful spin bowler as well. So
and he bowled. So yeah, some knock by him today.
So this is Rafi into Hurst. He's got to look for a second run. Hit out into the deep. I think there's a comfortable 2 there. He's come back. So that puts you boys in a great spot in the group, doesn't it?
Yeah, I was trying to get Paul to explain all the formulas to me now, but as far as I'm aware, if we win tomorrow, we're fine. If not, it gets very complicated quite quickly.
I think it's really straightforward for you boys tomorrow. I think it's win the game, get qualified, not worry about anyone else. Yeah,
that's definitely the approach. Definitely the approach we're wanting to take.
Maybe a second here is a little fumble in the outfield. Hurst has settled to his work here really well for Wales. He's 18 off 12, Campion 10 off 6. So have you enjoyed this format, Roy? Because obviously you're heavily involved with the Scottish development setup there. You play at the Forfarshire Cricket Club, is that right?
Yep, that's right.
As Campion chops it out, one bat, just for a moment the fielder fancied the catch there, but just fell short. Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, all right. Yeah, no, this format, it's been like really good showcase for it this week, I think. Just the amount of close games, you know, with that home run at the end, and just because it's shorter, the amount of games going down to the last over, last ball, like, it's proper, it's exciting viewing for everyone. So, no, it's great.
I remember you saying earlier in the week that you managed to get to play a little bit of LMS yourself, and you get to play with some of your friends. I know playing representative cricket when I was younger myself, and as you get older you don't get to pick your teammates in rep cricket. It goes purely on ability, so it must be nice to have that opportunity just to play with some of your mates and enjoy your cricket in the week.
Yeah, no, yeah, as I said before, it's just brilliant, isn't it? It's just good, nice and short, nice and exciting. Just everyone involved as well. There's not a lot of these games where, you know, you could spend all day and do almost nothing, so everyone gets involved. So
how have you enjoyed this trip? Have you been down to Chester before?
No, I've not been down to Chester before. I was actually really surprised how beautiful it is. I was walking about city centre on the Tuesday morning before our game, and it's a stunning place actually. I was really surprised, shocked actually.
It's got a lot of culture, and I think a lot of the teams have really been taken back. You know, on the day where they had a few rest days. You know, a few of the guys maybe took in Liverpool and Manchester, but I know quite a lot of the countries have decided just to stay in Chester and take in the beauty of the city and meet some of the Cestrians, the locals, and maybe get a few drinks and a bite to eat in the town.
Yeah, there's definitely lovely places around, a lot of good restaurants.
So this is Manish coming in here. To Hurst, he's just rocked back there. He's going to be looking for a second run. He's going to be trying to push his fielder. It's going to be close, but not close enough, as you get another 2. Hurst seems very much in control of this innings at the moment.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Manish comes in. Just a little half turn there, and he goes again. Hurst comes down the wicket very forcefully. That is a fantastic shot. He's just opened his body out beautifully there, David, and he's smashed that into the offside fence. That's 4 more.
It's good placement, that, isn't it?
It's
great use of the feet.
He is. Hursty has been a fine player in the Cheshire County League locally for a very long time, and he knows this ground extremely well, and he seems to be making the most of it at the moment. As Manish comes in again, back of a length, and he's hit that like a tracer bullet, and that's 4 more. Being watched on here by England captain. He'll be made up to know that David's got quite a lot of English heritage, but he's playing under the grandmother rule here. His nan comes from Holywell. But I know his family are extremely proud that he's getting to represent his grandmother here, as he's raced on to 29. Manish has come round the wicket here, trying to close the angle. Comes round, and he's just been pushed out into the offside. So this is a really good start for Wales here. Both these teams looking to get off the bottom of the group here with their first victory. So you must think this LMS cricket's pretty straightforward. Scotland seems to have had a bit of an upturn in form since you've arrived.
No, it is one that you've got to think about a lot. There are definitely different ways of going about it. It's not as simple as a lot of the guys think. Just come in and try and tee off from ball 1, because you know there's 6 fielders out on the boundary. That's more than you'd ever have on a Saturday or wherever your normal power play rules are. But 6 out on the boundary, it still makes it tough to hit.
Have you managed to do much bowling?
No, I've not managed to prize the ball out of anybody's hand yet. I'm still working on it.
Do you bowl normally, or is that a work in progress?
No, it's definitely a sort of batsman who thinks he can bowl part-time off his sort of situation there.
Based on some of the teams, certainly the Welsh team, you definitely, if you're bowling off spin, you definitely get a bowl, because their mantra is definitely to take the pace off the ball. As Rafi comes in from the City Road end here, back of a length, hit through the line by Campion, goes out to cover. That's a single. So both teams here will know that this is a key part of the game here. I think this is a key wicket in Hurst. He's on 30 off 17. Run rate still around that 7.5, 8 and over. It's real nice. He's going to look for a second run here. He's just punched it into point, and he comes back for 2 again. So you're talking about how people obviously learning, how LMS cricket works and stuff. This is certainly the case with the Welsh side. We watched them in their very first game, very much trying to play very much crash and bash cricket. And now in this game they seem to be a little bit more switched on, and they've barely played a shot in anger, and they've reached 50. Rafi comes in, he's hit that extremely hard out to cover again. They're just going to settle for a single here. So it was, obviously we've mentioned that you're part of the Scottish development setup. So what does that actually entail? What do the Scottish Cricket Board do to help you, develop your cricket?
They just really try and get us training through in Edinburgh's quite big squads as much as possible. So maybe 2 or 3 times a week, and a lot of the time they include the national squad in that, and they include the A team in that. So you're training really with the best boys around.
That must be massive for you, because obviously, Scottish cricket's hit the forefront. That win over England, being able to train with those, the best lads. In some respects, it must make it feel like it's so close.
Yeah, and also it's been great to see a few of those Scotland national team boys getting a run in the T20 Blast comp as well. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 of them that have had a couple of games in that now as well. So to see them in that, and then a few of them travel back up and are playing in the regional series, or if they're just training, it's great to have that sort of bridge.
So which sort of lads are we talking about there? For the people who don't know, which sort of lads are we looking out for?
So the ones that have had a run in the T20 Blast, we've had Safian Sharif, who also plays in the Caledonian Highlanders regional team that includes Dundee and Aberdeenshire. So I've had a couple of games in that. Mark Watt, who, although he plays his cricket down south, he's just been signed up with Lancashire for the T20 Blast, and he also comes back to play the regional stuff. And then you've got Cal McLeod as well, who's at Derbyshire as well.
He seems to be doing very well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's been that ton against England, then he had a ton in the T20 Blast as well. So he's been right on the money recently. Okay,
after the 7th over, LMS Wales on 57 for 1. Franchise player Shiv Chanderpaul is going to come on to bowl here as he comes in from the City end. Back of a length. Just punched out into the offside. Hurst's going to look for 2 here. Campion's come back, and that's a comfortable 2 as well. Yeah, so that takes him on to 35 off 20. I think he's very aware that I think he has to retire in this Welsh side to give them any real chance of getting up to that score. So who have you got tomorrow?
It's UAE on the second pitch again tomorrow.
See, oh wow. I really hope the production team are going to be kind to the USA fielder here and not replay that, and they are straight away, as Hurst has just punched that out gently towards the offside, and that's well and truly going to make the bloopers reel, that. But that takes Hurst on to 39. And that's a wide down the leg side. That could go all the way there. This brutal outfield at Chester has another victim, and this could be a massive over in the scheme of things here. Chanderpaul has bowled pretty well up to that point, and he's looking at his figures, and he's looking at 11 runs off 3 balls. So the USA have really got to start supporting him in the field here. There's quite a few teams are starting to warm up in the background there. So Rory, what's the plan for you for the rest of the day?
Hopefully just sit and watch these games. You know, sun's come out again.
Where have they got you staying?
We're actually in the Chester Uni student uni accommodation.
That must be ideal for you as a young man.
Yeah, it's very good. Just right
Any
in the middle
family
of this.
members watching at home? I'm sure he's in good hands. I'm sure he's thoroughly been enjoying the university campus.
Yeah, well, it's right there in the city centre. You walk around the corner and you're basically on the high street, so it's ideal location-wise.
That's fantastic. But what's been pleasing for me, mate, obviously I saw your first innings the other day, which was unbelievable. We saw the catch. Did many people at home get to see that catch? Oh, it wasn't a catch, actually. It was a catch, and then you threw it back in, stopped the 6. Like Fraser Watts actually panned himself on here and said it was his fault, that he should have ran round and made the double play, and then you had a chance of winning some free hit.
Yeah, well, even one of the boys just walking around the boundary actually politely reminded me that I probably could have thrown it back into Fraser, which yeah, I don't know. Everyone's got their opinion, don't they?
He didn't blame you at all. He actually blamed himself. Fair play to him. But no, it certainly was one of the plays of the tournament. As Campion hits it big here into the leg side, and that's 6 for the Welsh team. As there's a massive roar coming from the boys sat down over there. But what I'm going to do is, obviously we've got a big game later on with England, and we're very lucky that the England captain's just stood behind me here. So Rory, I'm going to love you and leave you, and hopefully you maybe pop into the box a bit later on. But congratulations to you and the Scotland boys, and I'm sure everyone back at home will be watching tomorrow to make sure that you can get over the line and qualify.
Perfect. Cheers. Thanks very much.
So in the box here I've got Nick Darby-Welsh. Hi Nick.
Hiya buddy, you well?
Not too bad, not too bad. Enjoying this game between the Welsh and the USA. The Welsh look on top at the moment.
Yeah, I think they do actually. It's it's been a fantastic week, all in all anyway, and actually the USA boys we've had some incredible banter with, and a massive thanks to the Welsh lot for stepping in at the last minute for the unfortunate Bangladeshis that couldn't make it over.
Yeah, we spoke briefly about that before, that the Bangladesh boys, obviously because of visa problems, couldn't make it, and hopefully in 2 years time everything will be in place, and the Bangladesh team will be able to take their place in this tournament. But the Welsh have certainly not let themselves down, and they've grown into the tournament, and I think as the week's gone on we're seeing a far more streetwise outfit.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. They've stepped in at the last minute. First couple of games maybe struggled a little bit, but actually at the moment they're looking massively on top at the moment. So good luck to them.
I think where the game will really change, obviously Hurst and Campion here have batted absolutely superbly, and this looks like a really good partnership. Hurst is very close to retirement, and I think the innings will really take light when he comes out, because obviously it's like a new partnership all over again. Does that happen a lot in LMS cricket?
It does. It's one of these things. Every team, I think, you're desperate for one of the sort of top 3 to retire and get their 50 and go back into the shed. It just gives complete freedom to everyone else in the team. If you've got some big hitters who can come in and free their arms from, as you say, sort of ball 1. But actually this week we found stroke making is the way forward. You've seen it from the pros, the class that they've got, the time they have on the ball. And yes, you can get guys that come in and smash a massive 6. But there's nothing better than seeing a cover drive or a flick 4 or something like that. So it's it's been great so far.
Just talking about the pros, the ambassadors. You're without your ambassador today, Nick Compton. He's got work commitments down in London.
He does. Yeah, he does indeed. Actually, we're a bit more pressure tonight without our superstar.
He looks like he's been a real good bloke to have around the group. I've had the pleasure of having him in the box a couple of times, and he's really switched on to what's going on here.
Yeah, I believe he's super keen. I think he before the week started, I don't think he understood sort of the importance of it in some respects, and thought it was going to be a bit of a jolly. But I think as soon as he's turned up, he's had absolutely fantastic banter with the boys, not just the England boys, with all the teams here, and is thoroughly enjoying playing for England again. And I get the impression that he's super keen to be back for Friday against Pakistan, and then obviously if I think we've qualified for Sunday already, but keen to play in every game on Sunday as well. So
I think tonight the key about tonight's game, you have mentioned that obviously you've either already qualified as Hurst rocks back there, and that could be the end of it, and that's 50 retired for Hurst. That's a fabulous innings.
Yeah, fantastic batting that.
So Dave Hurst retires here, and as per the other day, he's going to just jump in the box. Nick, you're going to come back to me in just a moment's time.
No problem.
And he's just going to explain to me what's going on out there. Well batted.
Well batted, sir.
Yeah.
So Dave walking past the England captain there. He could have been so different for him, but he's in the Welsh red today. So
well batted, buddy.
Thank you.
So well batted, David.
Thanks, Lee. Thank you.
Yeah, looks like a very different Welsh batting effort today. It looks like you're thinking about it a little bit more, trying to keep the ball on the carpet.
Yeah, I thought that was the plan, but I thought they bowled quite tight early. I didn't really think there's much value in trying to whack it out the ground. The outfield's so quick here, so if you get it either side of the field and hit it fairly well, it's probably 4. So I think that was the better ploy today.
Well, there's definitely a couple of shots worth watching back tonight. You've hit a couple like a tracer through extra cover there, and you certainly struck up a great partnership there with Campion. You must expect from this position to be able to get really close or even get over the line.
Yeah, definitely. I think we had a chat on this after 6 overs. We're thinking, do we look to go for the bonus point? But to be honest, I think it'd be really, really difficult to do that. So we were just trying to tick it along and hit the bad ball when it came.
So you boys bowled extremely slow in that first innings. Shiv Chanderpaul came out and obviously commented that he was finding it extremely tough. He obviously hasn't faced off spin quite of that pace in first class cricket. Was there a definite ploy from the Wales boys to take the pace off the ball?
I don't think we had much choice, to be honest. Yeah, on Monday when I last played, I think we had 5 off spinners. This time I think we had 3, and we had a bit of variation today, didn't we?
So just looking at the economies at the moment, the USA, nothing really to shout about at the moment. Only Nair really who's got the wicket, 1 for 25 off 3, but the rest of the bowlers with no joy so far, and it's looking relatively comfortable at the moment for the Welsh side. They're going to, definitely look to have to get some wickets. Looking at Pool B, David mentioned the bonus point situation. I think the Wales side are probably really, if they put the foot down now, they may have a chance of getting the bonus point and give themselves maybe a little half chance, a glimmer maybe of qualification.
So if we do, for example, Lee, what's the point situation there then? What would we get if we get it inside? Well, is it 15.4?
Yeah, well, the thing is that what you're trying to do is basically take the 2 points off the opposition side.
Yeah.
So, realistically for both sides, 2 points is no good to either of you at the moment. So that would be my thought, that for the Welsh side, obviously you're going to take a pot around, and I'm going to get Nick back in a second, and hopefully you'll be able to join me later on when you've finished the game. Certainly it'd be well worth you guys maybe looking for that bonus point, because I think you're going to struggle to qualify without it, or without them. But no, you look like you really enjoyed yourself out there. And are you available tomorrow?
I'm available tomorrow if the weather holds up. Yeah, definitely. I think it's a 4 o'clock kick-off for us, I think.
Was the wicket. Was the wicket.
Adam.
So all of a sudden, me and Nick were just talking about this. You've retired, a big wicket at the other end, and momentum shifts.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I'll get round to my teammates and give them the pads.
Okay, cheers, mate. Good luck.
Cheers, Lee.
Thanks, Dave. Cheers, boss. So that was Dave Hurst, obviously retired in the Wales innings there. He's going to trot back round.
He batted very well.
Yeah, he's very switched on character. I think, like us, he felt like Wales were in quite a good position, but in the space of a couple of minutes, obviously losing Campion, he's trotted off back towards the pavilion to speak to his teammates there. So for you, what's the plan coming into the weekend? You've obviously got a squad. They'll be fully utilised. Jamie Carter back in today.
Yeah, Jamie Carter's back in. He very kindly sat out the previous game. We've got a squad of sort of 8 players plus Compo. As you said, Nick's not here tonight, so the full 8 are playing tonight, which is going to be great fun.
So a bit of a tough question for you. Obviously, you get through the weekend. You've got the potential of a semi and a final, or a quarter, a semi and a final. How do you go about balancing a team? Where realistically Nick Compton's there as the ambassador and the pro. So you've got one guy who'll have to miss out, and I noticed that you left yourself out one of the games, which I've put down that to excellent man management and the fact that you pretended you were nursing an injury, but actually you weren't. you don't have to answer that, but that's just my...
No, I've been nursing injuries, sadly, for about the last 7 years, according to the last commentator, so Roscoe knows me well. England, actually, we are, on an average age, we've got 2 youngsters, Dave, who's 23, and Jamie, who I believe is sort of 26, and the rest of us are the north side of 35 at the moment, including one 40-year-old, so... We're not a young side. We probably could have qualified for the vets competition here.
Well, I'm glad you told me that now, because I've spent most of the day trying to sort out a Masters team for England, and I could have just got the first team.
You could have just pretty much got the first team out, I believe. Yeah. And I think actually at the next one, realistically, the majority of us probably will be playing in the vets team. So, but I think we've all got wily heads on, and experience always counts in a game of cricket. So,
well, we're hoping obviously the weather holds for the weekend, because it could be a really interesting day's play. That result for the UAE this morning, that really just blows the group open, doesn't it?
It's opened it, I think. Yeah, I think it's the Pakistanis have been playing fantastically well at the moment and have looked like the gun side in the group. I think England have surprised a few people. I said we're 3 from 3 as well. Tonight's a big game for us. The Indians started slow, and the last 2 games have, hopefully not tonight, but previous game looked fantastic. They've got their pro in.
He looked a bit tasty, doesn't he?
He looked very tasty. I mean, I think it was an 18-ball 50, so he looked like he was smashing it all over the place.
He just doesn't break sweat. That's the bit that obviously you see all these different professionals, and we've seen Razak at the start of the week was absolutely destructive.
Yep.
We've seen Nick Compton just stroking the ball around, just class act, and then you watch Wasim Jaffa, and he's just hitting the ball for 6 without actually doing anything. As Wales have
hits the scoreboard.
Yeah, hits the scoreboard. The first 6 for Dion Holden. That was a lovely shot there. He just picked it up off his hip, didn't he?
Yep, swiveled. Beautiful shot. I mean, yeah, going back to the pros, actually, they I think that what we've all noticed is just the time they have. Doesn't matter how fast you're bowling at them. They sit back. It's like they've got all the time in the world. Compo is an absolute class act. I mean, he looks majestic when he's playing some of the times. I think Razak bats like he did when he was playing for Pakistan. He's always hit a ball big. We haven't seen him bowl much, but his batting has been fantastic this week. So, but the Scottish boys got him out relatively cheaply. So, I think with all cricket, anything can happen. You give him a good ball or even a bad ball, and they hit it sky in the air, and someone takes a catch, then your quid's in.
Well, you've seen a lot of the teams now. At the start, they were manoeuvring the franchise player around, whereas now they've just gone. They've set the stall out and get the best players up to the top of the order, get them retired, and then get them to come back in. Australia on day 1 could actually find themselves out the tournament if it doesn't go their way tomorrow. And basically, it's probably going to come down to the way they set the team up on the first day.
Yeah, it could be, absolutely. I mean, it's. I suppose we had an easy decision with England in the fact that Compo's always been an opener. So for us, it was it was an obvious call to put him up there. But actually, as I said, he's batted incredibly well. I think the other teams definitely should put the big guns at the top order. The only negative occasion here, which happened to New Zealand against Pakistan, is their two best bat. One of them gets out relatively cheaply, or both of them get out relatively cheaply, and then there is pressure on the other guys. So sometimes it's worth, if they're not a natural opener, maybe put them down at 3 or even 4 potentially. But I think with Razak, his eyes in at the moment, so there's no worries there. Marcus North, again, class player.
Well, he got a 50 the other day where I don't think he actually used his backswing at any point. He was just paddling it and just pushing it all over the place, and he got a 50 ball. 50 off 20 balls. Yep. It was just unbelievable. So
with no trouble at all.
No,
pure ease, exactly.
I think we're in a real key point. Just going back to this game, Nick. Sorry, it's easy to go off on a tangent.
Sorry,
I do it all. I do it all the time. I was talking about the canal the other day for 2 overs. Wales here in an absolute key period. I think the USA have got to potentially bring a fielder in or try something, because if they bat the whole overs here, I genuinely think that Wales will cruise home.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you look around, and as I said, I think it goes into sort of a bit of a dull lull in a way, where they're just sort of going through the motions at the moment, and ideally you want should be the captain's choice, but one up in the air. There we go, just a quick.
Right, okay. There's a situation there where the keepers ran out for the catch.
Yep.
The ball's obviously split 3 fielders. The bowler, I don't know
I
don't actually know what the bowler was doing, to be honest. But there was actually no one at either stump there. So you, as someone like me, who's maybe more powerful and quick, are you going to try and steal a single there, or do you think that it's not a risk worth taking?
I think a few years ago, definitely, I would have gone for a steal. I think we've discussed this actually for the last few seasons, that if especially when you're hitting the ball, incredibly high in the air, there is a bit of time under it. The likelihood at our sort of level of someone pinging the stumps from a distance is, it's not going to happen, every single ball. So I think it's always worth stealing the 2 runs. I mean, if they drop it, then you've got 2 runs. If they catch it, you've still got the 2 runs. But of course, you don't want the double play. Of course,
so your mindset, it must actually help you cricket on a Saturday, that another misfielded for. The USA are having an absolutely torrid time in the outfield here.
Yeah, I think they need the captain to cheer up the troops here, give them a bit of support, get everyone back on side again.
Because it must be tough, because obviously you take a wicket. I've obviously seen. On cue here, I know. There's some interesting celebrations in your side.
The Aeon celebration, yes. That's been going on for a few years. We originally we had a gun back called John O'Bean, who's actually in Australia these days. And it sort of started with him and one of our other guys, a guy called Blake van der Linde, who's obviously playing here today, my vice captain. And it's now taken off to every time we do a celebration, every time sort of a catch or a bowl, we try and bring it onto the pitch. It's the sort of the mule celebration, a little drag back of the foot.
It's probably also a good way of actually just getting the boys in as well.
Oh yeah, it gets everyone pumped up, I think, definitely. And as I said, we've sort of brought it into the England team a little bit here as well. I mean, we're very lucky in the England team. Everyone's getting on like house on fire. It's fantastic.
How's that worked? Because obviously some of these sides have come over, they're on tour. You get the experience in the airport and on the coach and in the hotel. That first day or so, how have you managed to knit that group together?
I think we've been very lucky. We've got some fantastic personalities in the team. I mean, we've obviously mentioned Adil, the quick bowler. He's turned up and is a breath of fresh air. He's a fantastic boy. But even Dave, the youngster, Dave's been here. So we've got the youth in here. He's an absolute intellect, apparently, one of the local boys. So there's a lot of banter, a lot of mickey taking, but it's all in good spirit. We've had a WhatsApp group, an England WhatsApp group, for probably the last 2 or 3 months, and people joining. So I think the general banter and fines meetings has been talked about and mentioned before, and I think everyone knows what's going on. So, and we're very lucky that everyone is a great cricketer and a great cricketing brain upon them. So captaincy is generally easy.
Wow! So
keeper could have reacted there.
Rafi has just got himself in position as the bowler there to celebrate, and the ball's just popped up above JD's head here.
I don't think he saw it where it went though. Yep, keepers. Oh.
All I'd say is that people who fielded at short leg or keeper with a helmet on, there is nothing worse when the ball goes over your head, because you do lose it.
Yep.
So, not speaking from any wicket-keeping experience, but as a slightly slightly larger fielder and batsman, I do sometimes get put under the bat pad area, and the ball has gone over my head a few times. You do get a bit of a slightly unsighted moment, but
I think it's almost impossible to pick it up, and if you're even misfortunate enough for it to bounce off your head or shoulder, then
I've just spotted Blake van der Linde's just come past us, Nick. Am I right just to
absolutely
jump him in for a few comments? But it's
been an absolute pleasure, and thank you very much for having me.
Well, hopefully as a patriotic Englishman, I'll be looking forward to seeing us sail to the top of the group.
Let's hope so.
So I can tweet Ali from Pakistan, who's I don't know if you've heard him on the commentary. He's absolutely unbelievable.
He's been great fun, yeah.
As Dion Holden just hits the ball down the ground, he's just starting to motor here. He's hitting the ball beautifully. But it's been great speaking to you, and hopefully I'll speak to you tomorrow.
Lee, many thanks, pleasure.
Afternoon, Blake.
Good afternoon.
So have you managed to take in much of this game?
Just picking up a bit now. I think as England lads, we just had a little bit of a net down the bottom there, just mainly a lot of throwdowns and everything else. It seems like watching a bit of the highlights of the earlier games, in particular the UAE-Pakistan game, which obviously was a big result for us. Just seeing, obviously we're on a different track, it's going to play slightly differently. Listening to Compo on commentary, it's a little bit less of a turning wicket currently. I think it should stay that way all the way throughout the day. I don't see it changing much. A little bit more slope possibly on the pitch to bring the ball back in if you're bowling from the side that the USA are currently bowling from.
Well, just a little insight, obviously being a local lad. This is a newer strip. One of our senior sides played in a cup match last night. It does slope away towards the bottom here. And there's a little bit more bounce and definitely a little bit of help for the seamers. So for yourself, there'll be a little bit more in it for you. As there's a change of bowler here for the USA team, and it's Sid coming in. They definitely need a wicket here, don't they, the USA?
Yeah, you just feel like the Welsh lads are dictating the pace of the game currently. They're playing within themselves, probably looking for that bonus point without taking too many risks. It's almost theirs to lose. I think USA have probably got to try something different, maybe bring up a fielder, put a bit of pressure, make them try and do something. Or else I think the Welsh are going to dictate this game all the way through.
What I did like the other day, Blake, obviously Nick mentioned you're the vice-captain of the England side. When you had the opportunity to take the reins, I saw you position yourself at short cover. Is that just something that, I know you play with, is it the Aon team? Or Aon team? Is that something that you boys maybe use in your club games that you've brought into this tournament, or is that just a feel during that game that there was an opportunity to get a man in the ring?
It is something that we tend to use quite a lot. We're again, Aon are quite pace-driven. A lot of boys who bowl seam up, a couple of spinners that come in. But I think it was also the opportunity there. I think we've seen, this is international cricket, although it's amateur, it's international cricket. Great shot there through mid-wicket. Half-tracker though.
Yeah, he's been pretty ruthless here, Dion Holden. He's 22 off 12. And this is probably what, I'll be honest with you, the Welsh team have been expecting all week. That they are actually stacked with batting, the Welsh side, the top order. They've definitely lacked bowling options, but everyone said to a man what a fantastic job they've done getting a team together at such short notice.
Yeah, I mean, these guys, I think they've had, what was it, a week's notice? Oh, another misfield there by the USA. Just overrunning it there, Rafi, and again the Welsh, they're putting him under pressure there, looking for the two. And he's come up short, little slip, but I don't think it was that bad. I think he's just missed that one.
So obviously this is your first time up to Chester.
Yes.
What have you got any thoughts on the setting here at Chester Boughton Hall?
Oh, what a phenomenal setting. Pretty blessed. I mean, there's not a lot of cricket clubs down in London where you'd have two full pitches playing. So yeah, it's been spectacular. The bar's been great. I think we drank them out of house and home over the opening evening, but back on it now, and a lot of the locals coming down. It's really, really great to have some local support. I think in that New Zealand game, it factored in quite a bit to create the pressure and give us the opportunity to claw that game back and win it.
Yeah, the atmosphere towards the end of that England-New Zealand game was really special down here. Just as the lights started to go down, I know you England boys have been discussing the scheduling with the organisers. You've been put on the late match every day. Obviously that gives you the opportunity to have a bit of a lie-in, but the downside on that is that the light right towards the end of that second innings can be a little bit less than ideal. How do you think you'll be able to adapt as finals day kicks in on Sunday and actually having to play, earlier in the day?
I think, we saw the light was a major factor, obviously, in the Scotland game where the sun was coming down. We were running quite behind on the schedule, I think, when we managed to start there at about 7-ish. But so far, I think, the tournament organisers have really stepped up. They've heard what we've had to say. We're trying to get our last game out at, I think, 5:45 this evening. But, I think it'll be interesting out of everyone. I think it benefits us. I think we're the ones who so far are used to that. I mean, we've picked up the ball probably a little bit better later on now.
So, have you got a
shot? Go.
It's gone in the deep. He's caught it, and they've gone for the
double play. Oh, he's dropped it.
Oh, see, that could be a really key moment, because there was an opportunity there. Obviously, Holden's hit the ball beautifully, and I think he sensed that he could just kill the game here for the Welsh side. And there was an opportunity for a double play there. I think is that Shiv Chanderpaul out there? No, it isn't.
Not.
No. Oh no.
It's a good dive. It's got him home.
It was a really good dive. But for you, Blake, obviously we've been lucky enough to see that you've got quite a lot of support at home. I know, is it Selena?
Yeah.
Who keeps on messaging on Facebook Live. Is it something that the families and your friends are following back at home?
Yeah, I mean, I've got loads of obviously the Aon boys and mates down in London who are streaming on pretty much all day. Let's just say any fumbles or mistakes or punishable sixes are replayed daily. But it's been great, I've seen so many people who I haven't spoken to in a while also just log on, through Facebook, joining on Last Man Stands, following the page from there, the live cricket. It's been really, really great to have that kind of support. And I've also got some family back in South Africa who've been streaming in and watching that. So it's been great.
As Manish carries on, he's 2 for 23, halfway through his final over here. Do the Welsh have Do the Welsh have to do anything special here, Blake, to see themselves over the line, or is it a key moment here for the USC to maybe just see if they can get a few tight overs in?
I think this is a big over in the game, if I'm honest. This is over 16. There's still 31 runs to be chased. You don't really want to be taking this too far down. You don't want to be going to 18, 19, 20, needing 7 or 8 and over. That's exactly the same situation New Zealand were in. I think the Welsh really need to try and pick up 2 boundaries in this over. But as you said, the bowler's bowled incredibly well. I was watching him quite vigorously earlier. He's the one that he clean bowled and win was obviously the straight offie, but he's also got a little away swinger and a little dart. And with this angle of the pitch, it's just playing up a little bit, and it's not as easy to hit, even though you have that inviting leg side boundary.
So obviously we spoke about the slope earlier on. You've had the opportunity to bowl from both ends now. Have you worked out maybe for your England bowlers which is the best way to attack the 2 ends here at Chester?
Yeah, I think, we had a little play with opening up from this side of it in our second game versus the UAE. Found it was a lot of hard work for the fast bowlers actually coming up this hill. It probably just slowed up a deal a little bit, although you wouldn't have seen that in the New Zealand game. But overall, I think if you're going to bowl your quickies from one end, it might be from the top, especially today with that slope. Someone like Adil who's coming in at 80 plus. There's opportunities there for that ball just to nick back in and possibly bring LBW into play.
Well, the thing is as well, just looking at the flag of St George going very, very vigorously, and the clubhouse there, it's coming down from this City Road end, our commentary position. So Adil's going to have a little bit to think about here, because I know he likes to win behind his back. There is a lot more bounce on these bottom strips.
Yeah.
So, potentially he may have to just bite the bullet here and come from the unfavoured City Road end for him. If
I'm honest, when you look at it, that was something I was actually lying down on the ground having a look at the slope running up, just trying to see how vigorous this uphill was. Actually, I think my suggestion to Nick would be have a chat with Adil and see how he goes. Great shot straight down the ground there. He's put it in the slot, but really well done. This could be the over that the Welsh are looking for now to get away. That's the first boundary. I think they'll look for another one here, and that should technically get them pretty much home and dry. Having one man in the shed definitely helps.
The only problem with the one man in the shed now is that obviously they've only lost the 3 wickets. It's almost too far out for him to be effective, surely.
Yeah, I guess when you come back in that situation, the problem is you've got to play a different brand of cricket there. You're coming in the last few overs. If you might need, 8 or 10, 1 or 2 balls to get yourself in, suddenly pressure's on. I think, you'd back the guys to stick around, hopefully.
That's a good shot.
That's a great shot. There. Definitely 2 there.
The USA have been sloppy in the outfield, but the one thing they seem to have done here is they've got the right people in the right places. Shiv Chanderpaul's
He's calling the shots out there now.
Yeah,
I can see it.
He's patrolling the biggest part of the ground now. I think he, like all these marquee players, as much as they want to smile and make it as enjoyable as possible, the natural
cricketer,
the
competitor comes out.
So the USA there concede 2 more runs.
It's a big over now.
Well, Blackwell's on 19 off 17, and Geary's 1 from 1. It's just such a big period in the game here. See, with 3 overs to go, this is the big over. So obviously I've just had on good authority that Wasim Jaffer's car is in a bit of bother on the highway, or on the motorway as we'd say in England. So for you, Blake, maybe a slight delay in the start time to allow Wasim to arrive and have a nice warm-up, maybe a bite to eat and settle into the game?
I'm guessing we're having a bat and they're fielding with 7 as far as I'm concerned. Wasim, if you can hear, mate, you better start running, pal. I'm not holding off for that. No, seriously, that's not great. And obviously we're excited to play Wasim. He's come out and he's played a really aggressive brand of cricket with the bat. And, obviously, for those that don't know, Compo's not going to be playing for us today. We're going all out, so the marquee players away for this one, and we're quite excited at the opportunity as a team to step up and really, play our brand of cricket and get another W, and that should definitely secure at least 2nd spot, and then take on Pakistan tomorrow. But India, they're a strong side. I don't think they've fired at all cylinders so far, so and we feel the same way. So it should be a good game.
The game between you and Pakistan is something, I'll be honest, I'm looking forward to, because definitely been, in my opinion, the 2 strongest sides in the group, or the 2 most consistent sides in the group. Pakistan have been extremely consistent up to now, and what I was going to say, we've just seen a miss stump in there. Blackwell's
had a good rag at that one.
Yeah, he's had a real go at it.
Kitchen sink.
So we've got Ada wide there now. Blake, I've had the pleasure of your captain on yourself for the last 10 overs. I think it's only fair to give a balanced view, and obviously with
wow, fetch that in the canal. And on that, I'm going to exit. Thank you very much, guys. Look forward to putting on a good show later, and may the best team win.
Good luck, mate, and wish you well. Okay, calling into the box here is the Indian wicketkeeper batsman, is that right? Is it Meg?
Yeah, that's right, mate.
How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, pretty good. I'm fine now. Pre-match jitters, that's it.
Well, obviously, we hear that Wasim Jaffer is currently on the highway.
Yeah, so...
Is he going to make it in time?
I hope so. I like to believe so. But yeah, when the boys came up to me and told me that he's stuck, there was a bit of a panic. I didn't tell everyone back in the team because don't want to cause too much panic before a game. But yeah, we all know how big an asset he is, and we hope he gets here soon so we can start the game on time and not miss him in the game.
He's been a big plus to your India team the last few games, but before we talk about him, you've been absolutely fantastic since you've come in as wicket-keeper. I think you've done a fantastic job in that role.
That's so nice of you to say. Yeah, so I think people often miss out and don't emphasize enough on a proper wicket-keeper in the LMS format. I think people feel that wicket-keeping isn't that important, but what they don't understand is that a specialist wicket-keeper is very important in the LMS format, because a wide is anyway 3 runs and the wide's down the leg, and you miss that and a wicketkeeper doesn't catch that ball, that's 7 runs there straight away. So I mean, I'm trying to just do my job and stop as many as possible for my team, and yeah, I'm just just happy that it's going well. So far so good. Yeah.
I know, speaking to LMS founder Wayne Grieve, we were actually sat in the commentary box for the first India game, and we were really surprised that you weren't keeping. But at the end of the day, I know that's not your decision, so I'm not going to make you comment on that. But we think you've done a fantastic job since you've come in, and India seems to be in fantastic form.
So I feel since Wasim Jaffer sir has come into our team, it's provided a team with a great boost, and someone like him always helps, you know. So we weren't that happy after the first game either, because that's a wicket there. we may not talk about it.
Well, Geary's just backed away there, trying to work it into the offside, and he's shown all his poles off, and it looks like Nair's just got one to run down the hill here and clip the top of the leg stump. I think Geary's going to be really unhappy when he watches that back. Just a little flick of annoyance with himself there. And the Welsh team should feel really quite comfortable to be able to knock this off. They only need 12 in the 9 balls left, but anything can happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's cricket. We saw an upset earlier today. Pakistan, the super team that had all wins under their belt, was knocked out by UAE, who weren't doing so well in the competition. So I mean, I always believe that cricket's the biggest leveler, and I think cricket's a funny game. Anything is possible here. So I mean, if one more wicket here and could change the game.
For you, who you know, obviously this game isn't going to have a great effect on things. You know, we looked at maybe if a bonus point for Wales would have maybe brought them back into it, but they are a long way back. Is it must win for you today against England?
I mean, so far every game that we've played, obviously we've looked at a must-win angle, but yeah, now we've dug this grave for ourselves, and after seeing Scotland win there against New Zealand boys, we knew it yesterday itself that we have to win every game we play. So yeah, the England game and the New Zealand game as well, both are must-wins for us now.
As he comes in, that's another dot ball. So Blackwell's just feeling the pressure here now. He's 30 off 23. And the USA are really getting into it now. This is a very compelling part of the game. So as Nair carries on, he's in his final over here. It's a low full toss. The umpire looked at the square leg there, but nothing came. And that's 2 more. So, Meg, obviously, this must be really exciting for you as that ends the 19th over. We're just going to quickly squeeze in here. How did you manage to get here, and what was your journey?
So we weren't very aware of the LMS tournament as cricketers back in Mumbai, but Sachin Bajaj, who's the head of I think LMS back in Mumbai and who brought LMS to Mumbai, he approached our club and asked us if we want to send a team for the LMS. And we did very well in the Mumbai rounds. We won the Mumbai rounds and reached Goa. And my brother and I both got picked because of our good performances in the Goa tournament. So Sachin Bajaj was very kind enough, and he said according to him it was a responsibility to send us to the UK and make us play this tournament as a part of the World Series. So I would like to really thank Sachin Bajaj for providing us with this brilliant opportunity to come here and play cricket. And I would like to thank my club, PJ Hindu Gymkhana, as well, because without their efforts and obviously Mr. Bajaj's efforts, I wouldn't have been here today playing this tournament.
So first ball, sorry to jump in there, first ball of the last over. There's been a misfield, but it's still only 2. It's Chanderpaul that's going to be bowling this last over. He's only got 9 runs to defend, so that leaves 7 off 4. We've also got the home run ball as well, Meg.
Yeah, that's the best feature of the LMS according to me, because a team is not out of the game till the very last ball in such situations. So it's going to make a big difference if he gets a 6 on the last ball.
And it's a dot ball. It's a dot ball. Chanderpaul using all his experience here. I'll be interested to see as a wicket keeper. We've got JD here. He's stood back. He's got both gloves on. Would you still be both gloves on at this point, or are we getting to the point where we're taking one glove off?
I think personally I would have taken one glove off here because it makes throwing easier, but according to me it's about the perspective of a wicketkeeper and what each wicketkeeper does on his own way.
Yeah.
So I think he's comfortable with two
Yeah.
gloves.
Oh, yeah, rightly so. And obviously JD's doing what's comfortable for him.
Yeah.
I was just intrigued to know, obviously, you as another...
Oh,
right, okay.
I'm seeing a double player.
So that's a double play. Is that a double play?
No, it's a double play. I think he's got both of them.
I thought he almost deliberately dropped it. He's given them... Yeah, okay. So that's brilliant play from Chanderpaul. It's amazing how quickly he's took up this LMS format here. We're going to watch that back, hopefully. Ian Martin is coming out as captain. There's a little bit of confusion here. I'm not totally convinced that in the big scheme of things, Dave Hurst coming back to bat is a good thing for the USA. He's retired earlier in the game. Just trying to work out now. We've got founder Wayne Grieve right next to you. Can I just pass him the microphone? I just wanted to explain here. Ian Martin's coming out to bat and Dave Hurst has retired. Does Ian Martin have to face?
Yeah, Ian's got to face the first ball, yeah. But there are 2 to go, I think. So I think somehow he's going to be looking to scrounge a single here and get David Hurst into the box seat for the last delivery. That was experienced play by Chanderpaul. It looked like he was either dropping it on purpose, but I think that was just his celebration. Then he realised the non-striker was also out, so he picked up 2 off 1 ball. So Ian Martin and Dave Hurst have got some strategising to do as they walk in together here.
So just on the ranking side of things and points, would Chanderpaul get extra points for a double play there?
No, not yet. He'll get the point for the wicket, but there's no extra points for the double play.
So, but that may come in later down the line.
That's going to come in down the line,
Okay,
yeah.
so I'm going to get Meg back in if it's all right, Wayne. And Ian Martin, the captain of Wales, comes on strike here to shiv Chanderpaul. What a finish this is. If you'd have tuned in 10 minutes ago when you sat in the box, Meg, it looked like an easy Wales win. So obviously you seem like a bit of a lucky charm for the USA side at the moment.
That's exactly what I told you when you asked me if they have the game in the bag. I said it's going to change. And it can change right here, and it's changed right here. If they don't let the non-striker come back on strike, this is going to be very tough for them. You
mentioned that your brother's here. Is that one of my my good friends, Dwidge?
Yeah, that's Dwidge who's asking me. But how much time it's going to take.
Right, well, Chanderpaul there has just made it very clear to David Hurst that he cannot back up that far, and he's warned him, and there could be a potential man-cad there, and this could get very, very exciting quickly here. He's gone straight, it's gone out into the deep. I think that he'll... Well, I actually thought he may come back for the second there, but Hurst is going to take the responsibility on here. He needs 6 off 2 balls.
1 ball, 1 ball.
6 off 1 ball. So this is unbelievable stuff here.
He just needs 6.
Well, people may say, well, it's 6 to win. Actually, the 6 doesn't come into it here. It's going to be 12 or nothing here. The one thing that Chanderpaul can't afford to do here is bowl a wide. So we're going to be watching closely for that. Because the wide will bring the tie back into play. Hurst is known as a fantastic stroke maker. Now, personally, I think he's going to be looking towards this leg side boundary here. He's going to be looking to get down potentially on 1 knee and whip it somewhere in this leg side region.
And I think this boundary is a little shorter today as well because the wickets move this way. So yeah, that makes sense.
It makes a massive difference. Obviously, I don't think he's going to look to go through the offside here.
But I feel with the experience that Shiv has, he's got to bowl a good one here. He's bowled a good over. I think he's going to look to end well.
Umpire's just asking them to quicken up play here as the game's ground to a stop here. But it's all on this last ball. One of these teams is going to get a W, and the other team is going to remain without a win as Chanderpaul comes into bowl to David Hurst. Backwell length, it's a dot ball. Chanderpaul can complete the run out, and the USA have come back from nowhere, and Wales have lost their 4th game in a row. Unbelievable, Meg.
like I told you, cricket can change at any time. We have the best example of how a game can turn on its head. That's a brilliant comeback from Shiv.
And probably just again a little bit of naivety from the Welsh batting there. They got into a fantastic position with about 4 overs to go. They just ground a few too many dot balls out. And then all of a sudden, there's a lot of pressure on the guys coming in.
That's exactly the challenge that LMS poses to you, and they've dug a grave for themselves here, and they were on the upper hand for almost throughout the game, but here we have the result, and there's another surprising win today. The USA boys have finally done it, and done well.
Well, fantastic. I know that you won't be able to stay with me much longer because you need to get over and get ready for your game.
That's right.
Even as an English fan, I wish you all the best, and I think you've been a breath of fresh air for the India side.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best as well, and you've been doing a great job in commentary along with your mate. So that's a great job you're all doing. I thank you guys for it.
Okay. Cheers, Meg. Thank you.
Cheers.
So that there is a fantastic comeback from the USA. They beat LMS Wales in a game that looked like it was done and dusted. Despondent David Hurst there, he batted brilliantly before he was retired, and then he had to come back in for 1 ball and hit a 6. That is very tough, whoever you are in the world, and he just couldn't quite do it. Shiv Chanderpaul showed all his experience as he got his USA team over the line, and he'll be delighted with that. And that will take them off the bottom of the group and put the Welsh in their place. So just looking back at this LMS Wales batting card, it's Dave Hurst, 50 off 29 balls, just couldn't hit that 6 at the end, and then there's lots of people in the middle of the order there that have got off to a really good start. Adam Campion, 29 off 19, Dion Holden, 30 off 15, and Tom Blackwell, 32 off 26. But it just wasn't quite enough there, and Hurst needed the home run off the final ball to see his Welsh team home, and it ended up missing it, and Captain Ian Martin ran out at the non-strikers end just to complete the play. But the USA will be absolutely delighted. Manish bowled extremely well, and Chanderpaul getting a wicket as well. So Kasakara Mahesh there, 2 for 25, and Nair with 2 for 28 with a pick of the bowlers, and then Shiv Narayan Chanderpaul bowling that final over, 4 overs, 1 for 31, but more importantly managing to protect those precious runs at the end of the innings. And that's the summary. Shiv Chanderpaul 44 off 37, Venkat 28 off 15, and the bowlers Dion Holden 2 for 30. In the Wales innings we've already mentioned Hurst 50, and Manish with 2 for 25 with a pick. But the most important fact of the lot is LMS USA have won by 5 runs, and they will come off the bottom of the table here at Chester Boughton Hall in the World Series of Last Man Stands. So as we're waiting for Ross Kaywood to get the people together at the end of the game, it looks like he's going to get Shiv Chanderpaul and Dave Hurst together at the end of this match and have a little chat. Just a reminder that we've got India versus England starting in just under half an hour's time, and this is Pool B. Everyone's now played 4 games. Sri Lanka in a fantastic position with 4 wins out of 4. They're going to feel very confident going into the final day tomorrow. And then 3 teams in Australia, South Africa and Singapore have all got the opportunity to potentially finish in those top 3 spots. And then we've got the USA and Wales who just fought out that last game there, who are propping up the table on 16 points. So we're going to go across to Ross Kaywood, who's got Shiv Chanderpaul and David Hurst.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Chester. The USA-Wales game has just finished, and what a cracker it was. Got Dave Hurst on my left here on the losing side, but well batted. How'd it go?
Cheers, yeah, thanks very much. Bitterly disappointing to lose. I thought we were in a really good position all the way after getting a good start from the first 6 overs. So disappointed, but well done to the USA and Shiv.
Thanks for it, Dave. On my right here, I've got a living legend, Shivani Chanderpaul, who just got a double play. How did that go?
After I caught the ball and dropped it in the ground, I wasn't too. I forgot everything about double play, and the guy was shouting to me, double play, double play. Then I decided, oh, let me try and do that. Drop the ball and just try and see if I could get to the stump in time. But as the captain rightfully said, they were going well. They were going really well, and at one point you think they had the game in their hand, and cricket, anything can happen. We just had a couple of good overs, and we came back into the game and pressure in the back end and help us to win the game.
Well done, Shiv.
Cheers.
Good for you guys.
Thanks.
Okay, next up we've got a big game. England versus India at 6 o'clock. Stay tuned.